Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Muhammad, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvault, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Erwin Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin, Henrik86, Jeranism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life Is Short, Matt, Missouri Bear, Nagara, Nathan Thompson, Naibai, Qatar Craig, Renee, Sally Bellis, Silver Umbrella, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app, theflatearthchannel.com, The Real Gabster, Tina Baker, Tom Hawkins and Windrider. So a massive shout out of appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now, we are joined in G Plus by, I believe we've got Flatster in there, so I'll see if I can, not Flatster, Flatsoid. Can you hear me, Flatsoid?
Good afternoon.
Good to have you. How's it going?
Well himself.
Very well, no complaints. Quiet start.
I just got back from a job interview.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Should hear tomorrow.
Good stuff. Similar stuff to what you're doing now?
Yeah, still spray painting.
Cool.
Just spray painting. I don't have to do all the other rigmaroles for more pay.
We did have Righteous Force, but he seems to have vanished.
No, I didn't see him here.
No, he was here before. He's vanished though.
Oh yeah, and I don't see him in Discord either.
Oh. Somebody trying to say something in Discord. Got that line muted. Hold on 1 second, people in Discord.
He's going to the gym, I think.
Ah, there we go. I can hear you now, Fenris. Sorry about that. On to the gym. Jolly good.
He just said he went to the gym.
Right, I've got you all off mute now. Need a warm-up act. That's what we need. Say that again.
So when last have you gone and made observations?
I've never gone and made observations.
Are those not your photos?
Nope.
Okay.
That's certainly not my photo.
I don't think so, yeah. How did you choose the photos?
Most of them are antis. but various of the ones that have been presented on the show also made it in there. They tend to slip by the stream unnoticed, so often people say, oh, well, there's no point watching the stream. You're like, well, for the most part, yeah, you're right, until someone comes along and presents something new. But like the last two shows, there's a very specific bit of the reel that Ranty utilised and talked through. You know, once on the after show on Monday and once yesterday on the live show.
Yeah, and it's quite good points brought up. So
Yeah.
do any of the people in Discord do any observations?
I bet there is, but they're just too shy.
I've got a few observations, but it's just of the sun and the moon.
Of the
I
sun?
don't live near large bodies of water, so I can't make the long distance over bodies of water observation. Just the sun and the moon.
Oh, well, by that
Cool,
standard, I have made observations then of the moon. So when the eclipse in, I think it was 2015, I can't remember which year it was. Maybe it was 2016.
Oh yeah, with your iPhone.
Well, I did it with a telescope and an iPhone, so yeah. One of those is on the reel. So the picture of the moon is mine that I took with my telescope with the iPhone. But other than that, no, not really. What's to look at? It's obviously an observably flat. All the photos show that.
I'm asking, what kind of telescope do you have?
Celestion or whatever they call it. It's 8-inch.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not here. I haven't had it for several years. Since Eleanor was born, in fact, 3 years. Went to the mother-in-law's, it's still there. Hasn't been used since. Just don't have the space for it. Used to be right next to me where I'm sat, pointing out the window. It's really handy. Not anymore.
Yeah, well, there's not much to observe in the sky anymore.
Yeah, but it was still nice to be able to. But then again, I've said this a million times. Chris D's channel, Take Back Space TV, he does it in 4K with a better telescope, and the stream quality is better than I can get through my telescope. So you're like, what's the point? Just go every so often. I still do it once or twice a week. I'll go to Chris's stream, and you know, occasionally, not anymore, but I used to more often. Just after losing the telescope, especially, I'd be like, can you go and look at this for me? And he'd do it in seconds, where it would take me an hour, you know, fiddling and faffing and cursing.
Takes experience.
Yeah, it takes patience. Yeah, other than that, no, I'm not that interested in doing observations. About you? You've got a camera?
Sorry, talking to me?
Yeah. You've got a P900, right?
Nope.
Who am I thinking of? I can't remember. Somebody recently on the panel said they've got a P900. I was like, have you? Obviously not you.
I think that was Mind Warped.
Subscribed to somebody yesterday called, I think her name was Emma. Again, for the same reasons. She just declared in, I believe it was Ranty's chat, I'm getting a P900. And I'm like, oh, great. Do you make videos? Went to a channel, and sure enough, there are a couple of videos that are already on the channel. So you're like, oh, you're keen to make videos then. So I subscribed. I thought, yeah, great. You know, there's plenty of people out there who've got the tenacity to go out and do these observations. That isn't me. That said, I've been to, whereas on screen now is St. Bees, to check out the observation point that Anthony got all the images of the Isle of Man. So, again, I wouldn't really count that as an observation. That said, I did see the Isle of Man.
Yeah, I mean, when I was down in Cape Town for vacation, I did some observations with the Samsung S10 Plus. I mean, I could see Robben Island. It's 11 k's away. I could see the beach, and I was lying down flat in the water.
Yeah. I mean, when I went up to St. Bees, the most noteworthy thing was seeing the lighthouse. So Anthony's girlfriend at the time came in and said, "I can see the lighthouse flashing." We're like, "Really?" So out we went, and there was I'm sure there was a little pound bet or something. I said, "Nah, you won't see it," before I got there, and at the time they hadn't seen it themselves, Anthony and his girlfriend, and sure enough, we went outside into the cold. Me, my wife, Anthony, his girlfriend, Spurs Chemo, and the dogs, and there it was, flashing away.
Yeah. Well, I actually wanted to go do a sunrise observation when I was down there. But behold me, I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the beach, like, what side does the sun rise there? In the meantime, it was behind us. So I woke up so early for nothing. So I just ended up taking photos of boats in the distance at night.
The other thing is, I don't feel the necessity to take loads of photographs. So when I was at St. Bees, I took pictures of the family. I took pictures of my daughter with a nice setting behind her. So even the images that were taken in my presence, so for example, the flashing lighthouse, I didn't think it was a very good proof. I thought it could be spun. In fact, to this day, people still harass me about it in comments because Cat Earth took a screenshot during a debate session where I said to Anthony, quote, "This is a perfect globe proof," when talking about that specific light. My argument being that they'd claimed the Fresnel effect was causing it to be projected out at the distance claimed on Wikipedia. So Wikipedia said the light could be seen from something like 12 or 18 miles, something like that. And Anthony went on to Wikipedia right there and then and amended it and said, no, you can see it from 31 miles, which is how far we were. And, you can. I can attest to that. But it got changed back and eventually got, removed from Wiki and stopped from being able to change things in it, which is quite amusing. But nevertheless, the fact that I said they would spin it was the reason it never got released. So that footage has never made it. As far as I'm aware, maybe Anthony stuck it out in a live stream or something once, but, one little pixel flashing on a completely black, it wasn't a great video. And as I said, all you've got is the claim that you can see, which you could, but then you've got to argue about how the flashing light from the lighthouse itself is actually projecting itself out. So I would have said that they just claimed it's like the bat signal, it's projected out and you can see it like through the air, like a beacon at a certain distance, and that's what we're seeing over the curve of the Earth. That's what they'll claim. So having discussed that, me saying to Anthony Shorthand, it's a perfect globe proof, has been taken as me thinking it's an actual globe proof. Well, no. The fact that in debate they'll claim it using mathematics that exclude perspective and Fresnel effects from lighthouses that you see as a pixel in a square box on a video, that's still held against me now, which amuses me, I must admit.
Haven't you found it amazing how much things on Wiki change, though?
Yeah, but that's the point of Wiki, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be back in 5 minutes for the show. It's got to spray something.
Oh, great. Just before the live show. There's no one else here. I wonder where everyone is.
Sorry.
It's normally a panel full of people by now.
I'm just going to put base coat on and I'll be back.
No worries.
Be quick.
Well, excuse the dead air if you're watching this on the premiering stream 5 minutes before the live show.
Good morning.
Hey, 10th man. Good timing.
Yeah, I just saw your text. Sorry.
Yeah. Might help. There's nobody here.
I
Dead air.
know. I just said, oh boy, I got enamored with a YouTube video about magnets. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, the show's going to start any minute. And then my phone lit up.
Very unusual. Normally, by this time, there's, I don't know, half a dozen people here.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't apologise. You're under no obligation.
No,
Don't worry about it.
No, I know, but normally I come on early because I know you'd like to test your systems, and we have some small talk and all that. So
It's not that. It's just come 2 o'clock, I'll go live regardless. So if there's nobody here and there's nobody talking, I'll shout out the, I'll shout out the channel members and talk to the chat probably. But that's not as good as having somebody on the panel.
no, I hear you. Yeah, it was an interesting video on magnet rivers, and the guy was out of London, and it said like the establishment turned his back on him, but I'll send you the link for the vid. Interesting to watch.
Cool.
So anything new from yesterday to today?
Sleeping Warrior just did a stream. Did you see that?
I saw something, but I was on that magnet one, so no, I didn't. I saw a notification though.
Well, it's good and it's bad. There's, people responding at the very least to Ballbusters 30, a very pinnacle episode in regards to the horizon, the physical obstruction, the edge of the sphere being in a location it can't physically be. Ergo, it's not physical. Not that we didn't know that anyway, but it's now been presented in such a manner that it's, rattled a few cages, ruffled a few feathers, but they haven't responded to the actual claim yet. What they've done in this instance is misrepresent Sleeping Warrior. So he's just pointed that out, basically.
Yeah, so it is becoming the Black Swan, as Kiwi said it would.
Yeah, basically. Lots of people presenting false positives and saying, well, look, on this day, it looks like it's obscured by a physical edge we reify from our model. Therefore, you're debunked. It's like, no. It can't be beyond that point, because if it's claimed to be a physical obstruction, it can't be behind the thing it's supposed to be obscuring. And it is. And you only need it to be doing that once to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that it's not a physical location. It's a not actual location. It's an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground, which we already knew. But you continue to claim it's a physical edge. That's what your model does. And the only response to that initially was shock and awe, because they went, we don't have an edge. Yeah, you do. What do you think you're talking about when you say it's physically obstructed?
Well, I was watching in my research for celestial navigation and all the stuff that I'm doing on the side, and the video, the guy's talking about the right angle, get the 90 degrees for calculations. And when he's talking about the horizon, he's saying, as far as you can see, that's the edge. He kept saying the word edge, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, Nathan's going to love this.
Have you got a clip? We'll hopefully get it into the live show.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now, we do have a new hyena that's joined us, which is Ali B. So a very warm welcome to the latest Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. As I say, if you're on a PC, I think there's a blue join button, and the same applies on Android devices. Anybody else, I think there's a link in the info box below if you want to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Now, we're joined by Sleeping Warrior, Ranty Flat Earth, Flatzoid, and 10th Man in G+. Very good to have you all.
Hey.
Hello.
Good morning.
Afternoon, Nathan.
Good afternoon.
And guests and everybody in the chat. Hello.
Hello. Very enthusiastic today, Ranty. Good to see. Hello, everyone in Discord. How are you all doing? I haven't had a peep from any of them. Red man with a tumbleweed.
Yeah. Nathan, what were you doing in bed at 11:39?
Getting some sleep. I've been up all night.
11:39?
Yeah, I've been up all night. I've got 2 kids. That's just the way it goes sometimes. You have to get sleep when you can.
Nathan, let's dispense with housekeeping today because I want to respond to a couple of points that was brought up in Jose's chat yesterday. Did you have a chance to watch Jose's discussion about the oil platforms?
I don't watch Jose, but feel free. If it's important enough to dispense with housekeeping, you go right ahead.
It is. The reason why it's important is because the rumpus went on and he basically claimed that the camera height was like 3 feet above actual water. And I mean, you can see that it's centimeters. It's not feet, it's centimeters. But nobody in Jose's chat is able to address the point. The point is, why is the horizon behind the second platform rather than 1.2 miles in front? And they claim refraction. And when you look at the curve calcs for refraction, standard refraction adds 0.1 of a mile to the horizon distance. The horizon distance is set at 1.2. If you add refraction, it becomes 1.3 miles, not 10, 1.3. Now, the problem is, if they're going to then start distorting refraction to hell and back with regards to scale, then it basically means that no matter what we come back with evidence-wise, they're always just going to add a bit more bullshit onto it and turn the refraction calculator slider up, because basically they can account for everything with a bit more refraction. And the question becomes, well, how much refraction is too much refraction? Because light doesn't actually follow a curved path anyway. But even if it did in their model, what are the parameters of acceptable levels of refraction of a curved path of light bending around a curve? That's the question that I want to ask.
Well, not a lot. Well, in that regard, you're talking about terrestrial refraction, and as you've correctly identified already, you can do whatever you like with it because it's just what's occurring in a model. Now, if you're talking about actual atmospheric refractive effects, that's a very different ball game. That's not applicable. You don't slide a slider when you're studying the atmosphere. That's completely irrelevant. So what they do in their model, we don't live on a model. How many times? Now, if they're going to say, well, no, this is actually atmospheric refraction and here's some data to back it, well, what are they describing? Which atmospheric effects are they detailing? Well, in those regards, you're not ever going to loom a physical obstruction in the near foreground to appear beyond things that are apparently blocked by it and miraged up. Now, you've got something that doesn't account for the horizon physically moving. And the reason is because the horizon doesn't physically move. It's not an actual location. Now, I know they have a physical edge in their models and reifications, and they have refraction to account for why it doesn't match reality in their models and reifications. But we don't live on a model, and refraction doesn't move the horizon. It moves things with respect to the horizon, and if their horizon's a physical edge, then it can't do that.
Indeed. Nathan, if you published a video with some content on it, and then somebody cited your video critically, saying that you've lied in your video because you failed to present evidence that didn't support your assertion, and then when they presented their evidence to support their assertion, they didn't actually use your video, would you be a little bit pissed off?
Sorry,
because that's what Blue Marble Science did to
hold
me.
on.
He said that I've cherry picked and snipped out bits that didn't support my assertion on a video that I didn't even cite from in the original instance. I didn't even cite from. He's used some other video from a channel that I've never even heard of to allow the allegation that I cherry picked in some way, and by doing so, it obfuscates the point. The horizon's still behind the platforms, regardless of whether you think I cherry picked or not. And if you want to think I cherry picked on a video that I've never seen before, then you can do. Doesn't mean it's true, but you can do it if you want to, because we can do anything in this topic. If you can refract as much as you want, you might as well believe that we're all liars too. But the point is, it's distracting away from the point. Why is the horizon at 10 point something miles, which is nearer to 15 or 20, to be honest, in my opinion? But nobody's addressing that. Everybody's talking about Riley this or Ranty that or quantum eraser this or whatever. Nobody's addressing the horizon. It's not 10 miles on your model, guys, and refraction doesn't account for it. It doesn't do what you guys say it does.
It's there in reality, Tony, because of the infinite slider.
No, it's not. We don't live on a model, and the slider makes no difference to what you see in your camera. That makes no difference. But in respect to
it's there because of the infinite slider. The infinite slider says that it's there.
There is another concept.
So really?
Hold on, Ranty. It was there anyway. We've got a video of it. There was no necessity whatsoever to make the comparison to a religious belief in Earth being a sphere. And then when that belief fails, moving a slider. That's inconsequential.
Yeah, you need to understand the sarcasm in this comment, Nath.
I know you're sarcastic, but the problem is that Arwin used to do it more often. He doesn't anymore because I told him off, which you'll get a spank bottom too eventually. But if you're too sarcastic, it almost sounds like you're arguing that point. And to the layman who comes here and doesn't know that you're being sarcastic, it just seems like you're presenting that. So I have to debunk the sarcasm as well. That's why my tone is so like, oh God, got to debunk a sarcastic remark.
Nathan, you need to change the word to the layman that comes in and sees him being sarcastic but doesn't identify it. The only laymen that do that are the Americans because they don't understand our humor. Yeah. I only ever get that with Americans. But listen, there's two problems with the curve.
Hold on. Sleeping Warrior does not express the views of Flat Earth Debate or Nathan Oakley 1980 channel.
There's two problems with the Earth curve calculator.
If I understand your humor.
Sorry, no offense, Chocolate. Listen, there's two problems, right? Lewis Hackett said, you can't say that our model's wrong without providing an alternative model, right? The problem is the Earth curve calculator's got that much refraction on it. I'm going to assert, and I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I'm going to do it for shits and giggles, that their refractometer, the slider, the infinite amount of refraction that they can add, actually goes beyond flat into concave. Now, if it does do that in real world and it goes beyond flat into concave, then it means that they've actually modeled our world model out for a flat plane too. So we do actually have a flat Earth model. We just slide the refractometer back to normal parameters and claim that the Walter Bisling curve calculator is actually a flat Earth model, and we can model it just the way you can with the infinitely variable amount of bullshitometer refraction, and we'll steal the refraction calculator and the curve calculator from Walter Bisling, and we'll just call it our flat Earth model.
No, we won't. No. We won't.
But it is flat.
No, we don't need a model to justify what you see in this picture. So they've got you on this tap of looking for a model for comparison's sake, and because you found one of their models that when you slide a slider to match a reification of an R value, it matches the actual reality upon making it flattened out. So what? That doesn't prove it's flat. Well, the photo does, though. The photo definitely does, and I don't need to compare it to anything at all. Now, if someone comes along and says, in my model, I've got a physical edge that should be 1.4 miles away, or 1.3 miles away, or 1.2 miles away, and it's more than 10 miles away, well, then it just debunks the notion that it's a physical edge. That is the end of the argument. Now, anybody who comes along, I'll give QE's analogy of the Black Swan. If you come along and say, here, on this day, I can reify what appears to be an obstruction I'm claiming is the edge of the sphere. Now, it makes no difference. Once we have demonstrated, as we have, that the horizon is not a physical location, it can appear beyond something that's supposed to be obstructed. Not an effect of refraction. Refraction's not looming the horizon. Therefore, that position, the horizon, is not an actual location. Now, this is undebunkable. There will be no rebuttal to this. There will be lots of red herrings that make it seem like they're addressing it, lots of misrepresentations, lots of claims that we haven't paid attention to the white swan. Now, if I claim that white swans are the only thing in existence and there are no black swans, it only needs somebody to present a single black swan to prove that they are correct and I am incorrect. At this point, we have categorically, unequivocally demonstrated that the horizon is not a physical location. It's not the edge of a reified ball based on a model that's wrong and needs to be completely flattened out to match this observation. That in no way proves Earth's a sphere and in no way proves it's flat. The image, however, debunks the notion that we have a physical obstruction, a sphere edge beyond which things need to be loomed if we can see them, but beyond which that physical edge isn't the thing that's being loomed. That's not an effect of refraction. Now, their refraction isn't even the refraction I'm detailing when I talk about the actuality and reality in this image or in this video. Their refraction is 7/6 of the radius, or, if you use this slider, as much more or less than you require to match a reification, a sphere model, to reality. Matters not. It's just a model. It's based on their belief we live on a sphere, and it's absolutely debunked by the physical edge being in a place it can't be. It's not physical, it's not an edge, it's merely the arbitrary position where the sky appears, not actually, meets the ground. It doesn't meet the ground, it's not an edge. It can't be measured with geometry, it's not going to give you an R value, and the fact that it's behind something that it should be 9.5 miles in front of debunks the notion that it's an actual edge. End of argument.
Not necessarily. We have a globe savior in the chat who wants to join, but can't find a place in the panel, Nath. He wants to come in and argue his point for the globe.
Let me guess. Is it Rumpus?
I give you the rumpus.
Is he going to tell us how it's definitely 3 feet?
How it's definitely provable on the globe.
Yep.
Can I just say as well that Blue Marble Science owes me an apology. He's not going to give one, but his statement was false. I did not make any assertions on a video that he presented that he said I did. So Blue Marble Science, I know you're not going to do it, but you owe me an apology.
All he did, Anthony, is he mistook one video for another, and you're mistaken in thinking the video he was referencing was by someone else. The guy you were talking about, the BMS, mistaken. Whatever it is, 69, did several videos. He was analysing one, and you were analysing another. It's very simple. I
was analysing one, and he claimed I was analysing a video from a completely different channel that I was not even aware of.
No, it wasn't.
And he made assertions that I'd... Rumpus,
no, you're wrong. Listen to what I just said. The guy you
please stop interrupting. Stop interrupting.
Hold
Let
on,
me finish.
Hold on. I'll explain to you. It's really simple.
Let me finish, and then you can respond. Okay. His assertion is that I missed bits out of a video that I didn't even cite from, even though there was a link in the description box for the video that I did cite from that did not contain that footage.
But he didn't refer you to another channel. The guy that you took the video from made several videos, one of which he analysed, and he thought that was the one that you used, but you hadn't. Okay.
Rumpus, that's full of shit.
Hold on.
Because if you go to his video, the video that Sleeping Warrior never spoke about, never mentioned, is linked in his video. So you're full of shit, and Blue Marble Fucktard is full of shit too. Sorry.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's excellent.
He owes me an apology.
But he did make
a mistake. Not like the video or miss bits out of the video.
Say that again.
I know. I'm agreeing with you, Anthony. I'm agreeing with you.
They made a mistake. He's wrong.
Yeah, Blue Marble Science thought you were using one video, but you weren't. You were using another one by the same person. You, for some reason, seem to think
not by the same person. No, not by the same person.
By a completely different videographer.
Yeah.
No,
Marcus,
you've got
it's
confused. Let me say it again.
It's a completely different channel. It's linked in the video on Blue Marble Science's video.
Let me try it again.
So Blue Marble Science
video
can't
we're
read.
using, the video you have on screen, came from, was it BMSI 69 or something? And he made 3 or 4 videos on this subject. Anthony analysed one, and Blue Marble thought he was analysing another one by the same guy.
Rumpus.
So it wasn't
not
by the same guy.
Not by the same guy. He cited a video from a channel called Outer Land.
Anthony.
I've never
He's
heard
just
of
said
this guy
Anthony.
before.
Anthony. He's just said Blue Marble thought it was by the same guy. Blue Marble was wrong. It wasn't. End of conversation.
It was by the same guy. But
no, it wasn't.
No, Rumpus. It was by a different guy. You just need to get on topic and figure out what's what, mate, because it seems like you're very confused.
Rumpus, let me put it to you in one sentence.
No, it's not what your point now will be. He was wrong. He thought it was by the same guy, according to you. He linked it. It was a completely different guy. So he just fucked up royally. He's just a moron. He got it wrong. I don't care how it gets phrased. I don't want you to now segue onto a different point, ignore that point, or claim he was right. He wasn't. That's the end of this conversation. Even when it's painfully obvious that one of your compadres totally messed up, you still want to defend that he's right. He's not, you moron. He's just wrong.
He didn't totally mess up.
Yeah, he did. He thought it was by the same guy by your own admission. It wasn't. He was wrong. How much more do you need me to slow this down, moron?
Listen to me more.
I don't need to listen to you. I've heard you. Yeah? For all those assholes out there that think that I don't let people make their point, you've made it. You've told us you want to repeat it, and I'm saying you've got it wrong. Either you can't comprehend when you say he thought it was by the same person. It wasn't. He just got it wrong. Stop defending this complete moron. In fact, keep defending him. Let's drag it out some more just how stupid and wrong Blue Marble Science is. Let's drag this out indefinitely. No worries. I don't mind you continually defending him and saying, yeah, he thought it was the same videographer, but it was the same videographer. Well, why did he think it was the same videographer when it's linked below as a different person?
It's really simple. One guy who took the video that you're looking at made another video of the same thing, but he added in extra days footage.
It's on a different channel. Somebody else has taken footage and re-edited it, republished it as a new video on a different channel. That is the video Blue Marble has referenced. Sod all to do with what Anthony referenced.
It was done by the same guy.
It was done by a totally different channel, re-edited, republished, and absolutely nothing to do with what was cited by Sleeping Warrior. End of story. It's not the same videographer.
It is.
No, it is not. You're just thick.
Rumpus, you realize that video is still linked in Blue Marble's video about Sleeping Warrior. With the channel
that's to the BMSI guy.
Nobody ever spoke about.
No, not to the BMSI guy. No, to a different videographer. So it's clear, no matter how slow we say it, you're under the misapprehension that only the video actually cited by Sleeping Warrior is linked below, even though a totally different videographer is also linked below.
Another video is indeed linked below, but it's...
So, fuckwit! He's completely dropped the ball. He's a moron. He's an idiot. He thought Anthony was referencing a completely different videographer. He wasn't. It's just Blue Marble misrepresenting him, getting it wrong, using a straw man, going to a different videographer to debunk. So, as correctly identified, Sleeping Warrior in this instance, has taken the bait. Because Rumpus isn't here to identify why this horizon is starting to interrupt me. He's not here to identify the problem that you have as fundy globe heads, where this horizon that should be about 1.2 miles away from the observer, obscuring things in the distance, is beyond 10 miles, proving unequivocally it can't be a physical location.
I'm here to do exactly
and rather than letting me finish my statement, you're going to try and attempt and dilute the point you're not addressing. You'd much rather address Hillbilly Blue Ball's retard video than the fact this debunks the notion that you've got a physical sphere edge to obscure things.
I want to address it.
No, you've had 10 minutes talking about blue marble.
Well, you brought that. That's because Riley. Anthony just.
I don't give a shit about your bumbling buffoonery, you moron. This debunks the sphere. You don't have a physical edge obscuring anything, you stupid little man.
I'm going to explain it to you, but you haven't let me do that yet. You just want to just chatter on with your name.
You had 10 minutes, you stupid fucktard. What do you think's on the table here? It's called Flat Earth Debate, not debate Hillbilly Bluebard's mentality, you stupid little man. What do you think you're here for? To white knight for a retard?
You're not debating.
I'm talking about a horizon. We've discussed it in the pre-show. It's been completely removing the housekeeping questions because we're specifically talking about a horizon that you reify into something that can physically obscure things. And yet there it is beyond the stuff that it should be obscuring.
Let's talk about the horizon, what's being obscured.
I've just talked about it. It debunks the idea we're on a globe. It debunks the idea we've got something that can physically obscure. You don't have a sphere edge obscuring things. It's behind the things that should be obscured. It debunks the globe.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, well, a hand wave dismissal's not very good. Given you've had 10 minutes to argue about Hillbilly Blue Balls, no, it doesn't. It's not going to wash here, moron. You need a physical edge obscuring things. You measure how much is obscured by your physical edge, and you don't have it, sunshine. It's way off in the distance on the flat plane we live on.
You're just not letting me explain the answers. You just want to sense of the answers.
How are we seeing the horizon beyond those oil rigs?
I'm not allowed to get more than a sentence out without being interrupted.
Rumpus,
Here we go. Here are some answers for you.
Rumpus.
Here we go.
How are we seeing the horizon behind those oil rigs?
You don't want the answers, do you? Right, here we go. For number one, there is a sort of what you can call a physical horizon on a globe Earth. So, for instance, just imagine an ant sitting on top of a football.
Sorry, we're not asking about your fucking model. I don't want to know about your reification and what it does in your model on a globe Earth. We don't live on this heliocentric model. So don't start explaining a photograph of reality by telling me what your model does. I don't care what your model does. Don't tell me what a sphere does. Tell me why in this image we have what you think is a physical edge beyond the things it's supposed to be obscuring. Don't tell me about your model.
I'm going to deal with that exactly what you want me to deal with, exactly. But I just want to get over to you that there is a physical edge on the globe model.
Yes,
are you dumb? Are you dense? Are you deaf? I have just said I don't want to hear about your religious sphere belief in heliocentric models. We're not looking at this model, so I don't need a comparison to the model. I just need you to address an actual picture of reality. Now, I appreciate that you're going to juxtapose your model, and therefore you need to clarify what your model is straight away, even though we're asking you about a photograph, something that has taken place in reality. You need to obstruct something with that horizon, mate, and it's beyond the oil rigs.
No model. You just made about a claim about the horizon on a globe model, and I was correct.
No, you started talking about your globe model and it having a physical edge.
You made a claim that
You made a claim about what your model does, and I stopped you. I've made a claim that we've got an image with a horizon you believe is supposed to be obstructing something.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll tell you what, I'll go back to this with the horizon, even though you brought it up.
No, you fucking won't come back to it, you dumb fuck. You'll deal with it, you mental retard. You're not going to come back to it. You're not going to clarify what your model does.
Picture.
You're not going to talk over me and tell me about your religious belief in a sphere model.
Give you an answer. You asked for an answer. And
I asked for one about 25 minutes ago, didn't I?
Have an answer for this.
Yeah. I asked for one about 25 minutes ago, and we've got you telling me that I'm censoring you, you telling me what your model does, and you talking about hillbilly blue balls.
You like? Do you want me? Right, here we go. We'll talk about the horizon in a second. Right.
No, you stupid muppet. The question is about the horizon. We won't talk about it in a second. You'll start with it.
Yeah, okay, fine. We'll let you order the. We'll start with talking about the photograph. Right. So the problem you seem to have is
The problem I have isn't the photograph. Are you dumb? I say I'm going to start by talking about the photograph, and then you start talking about a problem I've got.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, because you got up with.
No, not yeah. I'm saying talk about the horizon. The thing you think's a physical edge obscuring shit, and it's way off in the distance on the flat plane we live on. Not a problem I've got. That's not a problem.
I'm going to explain the photograph. Here we go. Right. So the question is, why is the horizon above or behind the platforms, and why can we see all the platforms?
I haven't asked that question. We see it because we've got a set of eyeballs. So you want an answer to that question, which isn't the question.
But surely the question is, that's the one you want answered, is why can we see all the platforms, and why is the horizon behind them?
That's a different question you're asking, and I'm saying because I've got a set of eyeballs.
So your question is you've got a set of eyeballs. Yes.
No, that's my answer to the rephrasing of my question that you've given that you want to answer. Why can we see this? Because we've got eyeballs. That's your rephrasing and repackaging of my question. Now, I'm saying, given that you think it's an obscuring edge, why isn't it obscuring anything?
Well, that's exactly what I said.
No, you asked me why we could see. I can see because I've got eyeballs.
Right, look, I phrased the question that you were asking me is why can we see all of the platforms, and why is the horizon...
No, that isn't the question I asked. We can see it because we've got eyeballs. I keep answering your slightly paraphrased question because I've got eyeballs.
The question on the table is why can we see this on a globe? On the globe, we can.
No, I didn't ask why when you begged the question and assume we're on a sphere. Those words didn't utter my lips. Are you incapable of explaining why, given that you believe this position in the distance on the flat plane we live on should be obscuring things, why it isn't? Are you incapable of answering that?
Here we go. So the question is, why are the things not being obscured? Why are we seeing all...
No. Why is it the thing you think should be obscuring it is way off in the distance on the flat plane we live on?
So here we go. Here's the answer.
The Earth is flat. Obviously and observably. If it wasn't, there'd be a sphere edge obscuring shit. But there isn't. That's the answer. There you go. You want to keep rephrasing and re-asking the question to buy time, I'll just answer it when you ask it again.
Here we go. The question on the table is...
Don't rephrase and repackage the question, because I'll be answering it if you ask it.
So the answer is refraction conditions, as shown by the wiggly towers on the things we're looking at. You can see the towers are all over the place. They're being affected by severe refraction.
Sorry, we're not talking about the towers. We're talking about the horizon. Immediately repackages his answer to answer a different question. Did I mention towers? Did I mention cranes? Or was I very specifically talking about your fundy sphere edge that's not obstructing anything? Not towers, not cranes. The fact that you've got an edge that's not obscuring anything. The horizon, not the towers. You stupid deaf moron. Don't answer a question I haven't asked about. I'm talking about the horizon. Do you understand, moron?
Let him say refraction, Nathan.
No, we'll get to his refraction. He's talking about the refraction on the towers. So we'll get to his refraction claim when we start talking about what I've asked about, which is the horizon, not the towers.
Answer, and then you can ask me another question. If you want to ask me another question, that's fine.
I'll do what the fuck I like. You stupid little twat.
Just listen to the
I'm talking about the horizon while I get rumpus by Ranty. He wants to talk about refraction. We'll get to what refraction. I am absolutely confident in declaring now that it will be terrestrial refraction with an R value attached to it. But we'll get to that later after we point out that he's now answering a question about an effect on something I haven't asked about. That would be the cranes. not the horizon, Rumpus. You're distracting away from this absolutely devastating point by talking about something else. You had quite a long time to talk about the horizon. You've said you're going to talk about the horizon, but you're now talking about something that's not the horizon. You're talking about the cranes. That's not what I've asked you about. Now, do you need me to slow it down, or do you need me to kick you out?
You're
not listening to me.
A single answer.
You're not listening.
I can't hear your question.
It's because you keep talking.
I can't hear your question. I cannot hear your question.
That's because you keep talking. You're saying I can't hear your question over and over again. How the hell do you expect to hear me? It seems the guest we have, the name of Rumpus, is mentally retarded. He's telling me he can't hear me while he's talking continually. That would make him mentally retarded. Because he's never going to hear me if he's talking continually. How could you ever expect to hear somebody? So unless he shuts up, he can't hear me, but he's going to continue, because he's retarded, to declare that he can't hear me.
Nathan, you simply just want to talk. You don't want to debate here. You just simply want to talk. You don't let me answer. You just want to overtalk me. Right, the answer to your question is if you go to the water business calculator, he's in...
No, if I go to a globe reification model, why is it that I ask about the horizon, and when I get close to him answering it, he talks about cranes? And then immediately when he says that I've been talking over him, and he starts interrupting me again, we point out that he's going to his globe reification to beg the question, rather than talking about the horizon in the image he's ignoring. Now he's talking over me again, so you're talking over me, Rumpus. You haven't talked about the horizon. You now want to go to Walter Bislin's globe reification.
I will talk about the horizon. Okay, so the question now on the table is, why is the horizon where it is?
No, those words haven't uttered my lips. Not why is it where it is. No, I didn't ask that. I asked why something you think is a physical obstruction is way off in the distance, not obstructing things on the flat plane we live on.
Okay, I'll answer the question. Right, great. So the question is, why is the horizon where it is?
No, that's not what I asked. Why is something that you think is supposed to be obscuring stuff is way off in the distance, not obscuring anything on a flat plane that we live on? That's my question. I don't want it paraphrased and then a different question answered.
Incredible. Yeah, so the question is, why is the horizon where it is and why isn't it...
No, that's not what I asked. You're deaf, dumb and stupid. You can't comprehend a simple question and then repeat it back to me because you're thick and because you can't answer it. Maybe you can answer one of the variations that you're giving me of my question.
Give me the answer, but you won't let me. Right, the answer to the question is because when we have extreme refraction conditions, as...
No. What's refraction?
My goodness.
What's refraction?
Well, 5 words in there.
Is refraction terrestrial? We're using terrestrial refraction.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Are you scared of my question? Are you scared of giving clarity? Are you scared? Are you scared? He's terrified. He can't answer and he can't give clarity. I would like to bet a pound he's begging the question and using 7/6R.
And he needs to distract away. He's begging the question here and using R in his refraction, but he needs to distract away by talking over me. So he's going to talk over me constantly while I point out his refraction's using R. He's using R in his refraction, but he won't let me talk. He won't let me talk to point it out, will he? Hey, right, Rumpus. Right,
so I'm at the point where I've got no choice, have I? I've got to put him on mute because he won't let me point out that he's used a word that begs the question. That'd be refraction. Now, I'm interrupting because I want to know if he's using the terrestrial refraction that assumes his outcome. This R value that will be assumed in that refraction. Is that what you're going to be using, terrestrial refraction, Rumpus?
Of course, that is refraction.
Oh, right. Well, that would be begging the question now, wouldn't it? See, that's why he talked over me continually and claimed I was talking over him like he's doing now. So yet again, I've got to shut him up. He's trying to prove we live on a sphere and claiming refraction. But the refraction he's using is assumed to be taking place on the very thing he's claiming to be proving. That would be a sphere. So by using terrestrial refraction, this moron who needs to change my question 16 times assumes the outcome he's trying to prove. So no, Rumpus, terrestrial refraction is a mathematical concoction that assumes radius, the very thing you're trying to prove here. So no, that's not satisfactory. Maybe try again. I'll repeat the question so you don't paraphrase it. Why would you assume that something way off in the distance on the flat plane we live on is actually an obstruction in the near... Oh, he won't even let me get to the end. I'm going to have to kick him out soon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, he's begged the question. He's assumed the very thing he's trying to prove. And now here we are again with me trying for the 17th time to actually give the question concisely so he can answer it rather than a different question he wants to answer. And there he goes interrupting me. It's because it's devastating. Flat earthers, listen up. This is their best. And he can't answer it because it's not a physical edge. For all of you who have been asked for your edge and claim that boats go over some stupid reification given to you by the Flat Earth Society, know this. There is no physical edge to the sphere they think they live on. And this proves it. And when asked why the physical obstruction he thinks he has is way off in the distance on a flat plane, he'll talk about his model. Or he'll use something that assumes Earth's a sphere to begin with, terrestrial refraction, because they're fucked. Know it. Take hold of this proof and ram it down their throats like I'm ramming it down this pathetic little dick. You stupid little man. You can't address the horizon without assuming the very thing you're trying to prove.
I want to answer.
You've had loads of opportunity. All you've done is used a refraction value that begs the question and has an R value, automatically assuming a sphere Earth in the refraction that's claimed to prove what? Sphere Earth? What shock? It's begging the question, you moron.
Right. If you just...
Not right! Are you dumb? Why is it when I point out fallacious reasoning to this moron, he says right? No. Wrong. Fallacious. Begging the question. I know it's painful to listen to me pointing out where you've used a fallacy, assuming your outcome. R value assumed in your refraction. Hello. I know it's painful for these fundies, but the best they've got is this. A little twat that interrupts me continually. That's all they've got for this. No rebuttals. I've said it from the start. They've got nothing for this.
Yeah. And you don't want answers. You want to censor answers because you
had 40 minutes. The show's been open for you to give an answer. You're not. You're begging the question. You've said terrestrial refraction. Of course, that's refraction. Yeah, well, that's got an R value in it, you stupid dick. Now, I realise that's painful for you and that you must beg the question, but it doesn't mean you've got any rebuttal. You claim to be physical edge is way off in the distance.
And you haven't allowed me to answer.
I have allowed you. You've used terrestrial refraction. Don't bleat that you haven't had an opportunity. You said refraction. I stopped you and you moaned and talked over me because you knew how devastating my question would be. What type of refraction? Would it be an atmospheric effect or an assumption of a globe? And we got there pretty quick. You said, yeah, I'm going to be assuming a globe in this example. So no, you have had a chance. I'm not censoring you. You've just got nothing. Nothing but assuming your outcome.
You're scared of the answers. You're in your little mind bunker, hiding away from the answers that science provides.
Science doesn't provide terrestrial refraction. You're just a liar. I'm not scared. I heard your answer, little man. Terrestrial refraction. Now, I can see that while the audience is hearing me, Rumpus isn't listening. He's making sure the Discord can't hear, and he's rumpusing the shit out of me pointing out that I clarified his answer that has been heard. He said refraction. What kind of refraction? Clarified by me with a lot of rumpusing. Terrestrial refraction. Now, terrestrial refraction's got an R value. It assumes the very thing he's trying to prove.
No, we're not trying to prove that. We're not trying...
Oh, you're not trying to prove a globe? Oh, that's fascinating. Why are you here? You know it's flat then?
Right.
Yeah, I know it's flat, right, yeah.
You can do to prove the Earth is spherical.
So you are here to prove it's spherical then? That's double-speak nonsense. You're not here to prove that? What, the thing you're assuming in terrestrial refraction, the R value? You're not here to prove that, but then you immediately go on to how you are here to prove that.
And then we build on that.
Build on the assumption? Yeah, that's my point, you dick. You've got a logical fallacy, an assumption, the thing you're going to build on because you know it already. That's the fallacy, you stupid moron. Now, I realise that when that fallacy's pointed out, you'll claim that I haven't listened to you using terrestrial refraction and that you're in fact being censored while you're talking over me. I know what you do. I know why you dicks want to drag me somewhere else so that the audience doesn't get to hear this when it comes. You want to be able to talk all over the fact that assuming your outcome isn't sound logic.
In your position is to ignore the answers that are offered to you.
I haven't ignored your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I asked for a claim proof of why his edge is way off in the distance on a flat plane, and he told me it's because of refraction. Now, refraction isn't on a flat plane. It assumes sphericity with an R value.
Oh, it builds on that.
Builds on? So, assuming your outcome. That is called a logical fallacy. Now, he's justified it after saying it wasn't heard. He's a liar.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, it was heard. It's just been taken to pieces. So, you're a liar. You're not being censored. Your argument's void.
Censored, Nathan.
No, you're not being censored. You are having your argument ripped to shreds based on its fallacy by me while you interrupt and claim you're being censored.
Let's give it a stop the censorship and let me have a sentence.
See? You're not giving me anything other than terrestrial refraction, which I've debunked, but you don't want the audience to hear that. So you're going to claim censorship, even though I've pointed out it assumes an R value, and then you've justified your claim that has been heard, has definitely not been censored, by saying we're building on what we know, the very definition of assuming your outcome. Again, something that we have heard from you, but you want to claim foul play. No, I heard. I gave you a rebuttal. You just don't like it because it proves you're wrong. Now, I've had enough of this shite. You're going to be disappearing because all you can do is talk over me. And I'm sure I'm losing my actual panel because you're a dick and can't shut up.
No, bravo,
Brilliant.
Nathan. This was brilliant. All flat earthers listen to this 20 zillion times. Begging the question, Nathan, you stopped him. He never answered your direct question. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to take them by the butt and spank them, I'd say.
Yep. Just beautiful.
Can we point out that, every time we ask them where the hell's your edge fundies, and they say, oh, there's no edge of the ball, there's no edge of the globe. Well, your man Rumpus just came in here and said, yes, we have a physical horizon. Yes, you have an edge on a globe. That
I don't want
as said by your man Rumpus just now.
Do you think they know how refraction works, though?
No, let me just, I know Nathan's probably going to shout, and if that's the case, then I don't mind stopping, but Rumpus was about to assert that there is excessive amounts of refraction, but unfortunately there isn't any evidence that supports him, and nor is there any science that supports him. So just claiming it isn't good enough, because we know that we can demonstrate refraction. And we know that demonstrating refraction is defined as Fata Morgana, Fata Brumosa, superior mirage, inferior mirage, towering, looming, stooping, all of those known effects. But the problem is, I've got two papers here I'm going to quickly go through. I can see Nathan's screen sharing me. These papers don't exist online anymore because M. Scott Veitch managed to get them removed. This atmospheric refraction, a study of mirage, which if it's refraction, this is what Rumpus is arguing for. In this document, it cites that the effects of mirages are based on, and this is the important bit, it is well known that Earth's atmosphere is not homogeneous. As a result, light traveling in the atmosphere will undergo refraction, and the traveling path will, and this is the key bit, deviate from a straight line. That doesn't mean follow a curved path. It means deviate from straight. And in this document, it shows all these effects of refraction, superior mirage, Fata Morganas, inferior mirages, all these things that we talk about. It also uses the mathematics to calculate what they think is an acceptable formula to demonstrate refraction. But nowhere in this document, if I do a control F and do a find, nowhere does the word radius get mentioned. It's not in the maths and it's not in the physical description. So there's no evidence to support the assertion for refraction to be a radius-based calculation. But it goes further. In this particular document, again, it's no longer online because M. Scott Veitch had it removed, written by a guy called Diego Gutierrez. He's trying to demonstrate refraction using simulation for a purpose of making a computer program. And in this, he says that his simulation is based on Fermat's principle, which is that light takes the shortest or the quickest available time to get from point A to point B. But he also talks about all the other types of refraction. And this is another key point. It says, now Rumpus is going to talk about the cranes. He says, under standard circumstances, the effects are negligible. Now, when Rumpus wants to talk about the cranes, he's going to say that that's extreme refraction, right? But it says it's under non-standard circumstances, this would be where Rumpus is talking, when we really see some amazing atmospheric phenomena. Probably the best known is the inferior mirage. And again, when we go into the demonstrations for refraction, they're talking about things that we actually observe real world. Again, it's all supported and qualified with the maths. But again, nowhere in the document does the word radius appear. So when Rumpus asserts that this is extreme refraction, I'm going to assert that there's no evidence to support the assertion that it's extreme. It's actually negligible because the arms of the crane are shimmering a little bit. But there's no Fata Morgana, there's no Fata Brumosa, there's no stooping, towering, looming, or any of that stuff, because that's non-standard refraction, and they account for that geometrically by putting, instead of 7 6R, 8 and 9 and 10 6R, because that's their adjustment for refraction. But in the real world, refraction is not based on R at all. It's based on actual atmospherics that we see, can calculate for, probably inaccurately, but it's not based on R. So when Rumpus says that it's extreme refraction, I'm going to say it's actually negligible, and he's bullshitting because he needs to be able to flick that slider on the Walter Bismarck's curve calculator right the way up to the extreme. But the problem is, right the way up to the extreme is flat.
And how does he determine which way the light reflects to anyway? Can you
just plucks it out of his ass.
Look, it doesn't matter. Good job there, Sleeping Warrior. This is exactly the cowbell that proves why Nathan kept them on the topic.
Yeah, it's the effects of refraction are negligible. Only when you've got Fata Morgana, Fata Brumosa, all those things that we talk about and we see real world, that's crazy ass refraction, right? But none of it's based on a geometric curve, a radius. But that's their model. But their model's got no application scientifically because they don't do it based on curves and radiuses. They do it based on how it looks at the atmosphere, upside down, shimmering, all that stuff that we talk about. That's refraction. It's not to do with a radius, a geometric radius. They need it to be because that's how their model explains it, but it doesn't mean it's real world.
Right.
Listen, the argument that QE presented was that at a 1 foot observer height, using their globe math, 3959 radius, the horizon could not be any further than 1.22 miles. Then we are presented with physical photographic proof that the horizon is beyond 9.41 miles at a 1 foot observer height photograph. In their own math, it can't be more than 1.22 miles. So it's over, non-debatable.
I agree. The Rumpus is in chat now saying that this document is the basis for Philip and I's ray tracing modeling of refraction. They're going to model refraction based on a curve, 7 6R, but it doesn't. There's no evidence to support that real world in science because it's all based on different maths. It's not based on radius. It's not based on an Earth being a sphere. It's based on whatever's going on with the temperature, the pressure, the humidity, the density, all the factors that influence what we see, the mess at the horizon. But it doesn't mention radius, Rumpus. And we know by definition, Fermat's principle on the trajectory of light, it deviates from straight at every point along the path. It doesn't follow a curve. It deviates from straight. It literally says deviate from a straight line, but it's at every point along the path. So that means sometimes when it's less dense, it'll go down. No, sorry. When the light rays going through less dense, it'll bend up and away from the norm. But when it's more dense, it'll come back down again and go back down. But it's deviating from straight. It's not changing point to point to point, and relative to that point, it's deviating from a straight line. So
let's make it.
Hold on 1 second, 10th man. Hold on. So I'm going to do some shout outs for. Hold on 1 second, Anthony. Hold on, Anthony. So I'm going to do some super chat shout outs in a sec. But in the meantime, is there any chance you can go and dig out your up and down video? Up and down. You know what I'm talking about?
Elaborate.
It's a video of Soundly with some lamps spaced.
Yes.
I'll just shout out these super chats, and then hopefully by the time I've done that, you've had enough time to dig that out and present it. So, shout out to MC Universe Sacred Truth Keeper, my bad. It says, liars hate truth, open brackets, in all capitals. So, shouty caps. Liars hate truth! MC Universe Sacred Truth Seeker. Said it twice. MC Universe Sacred Truth Keeper. Thank you very much for the super chat. Godzilla37 says, imagine the rise in suicides if Rumpus worked in the prevention hotline. Good show again, Nathan. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I appreciate the sentiment, but thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Godzilla. Really appreciate it. Mason B, also shout out to you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Rumpus is an utter moron. Right on. Shout out to JQ also. Unfortunately, I can't read your super chat because it's below. The last super chat doesn't appear on my screen. I'm really sorry, and I can't scroll it to find it. It's long gone. If someone else super chats, I will read them both out though. Thank you very much, everyone, for your super chats. And Anthony, if you can make your screen full screen, I'll make you look pretty.
I will do. I just want to cite where it's coming from.
Sure.
This is it's on my channel, and it's called Standy Bended Light Refraction Explained. It's had less than 1,000 views. But this is going to illustrate what light actually does in the horizon, in the atmosphere. That's not a sphere. Courtesy of Soundly. Soundly was doing a time lapse time lapse exercise where he was setting up these lights. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights in the screen, and they're following this path along here. Don't be fooled by anything in the background that's not these lights. It's these dots, these white dots that Soundly's put on vertical stanchions on a bridge. And what he's trying to demonstrate is that the light curves, it follows a curved path over, and he did it at nighttime because the effects of refraction are obviously less at the nighttime because there's no sun. But the problem is it doesn't support the assertion that light follows a curved path the way Rumpus will have you believe. What I've done is I've put on a straight edge. Forget about the rest of the arrow. It's just a straight edge, so you've got a reference point. And you can see that sometimes the dots of white light appear above the line. Sometimes they appear below the line. Sometimes they appear to curve down. Sometimes they curve up. But the key point is that they're all independent from each other, and they are not following any particular path. They are varying from point to point to point, and they are deviating from straight. So what we'll see is look at these last 4 lights at the end. Now they're all above the line, and then in a couple of minutes they'll start to drop below the line like they are now, but they're not connected to each other. So they're not following a curved path. They're dancing independently from each other, and they're deviating from straight. There is no science, real world or otherwise, to support the assertion that light follows a curved path. It deviates from straight at every point along the path that the light's believed to be traveling along. Believed being the key word.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That was excellent.
It's almost like a moment's silence for our deceased Ball Earth model.
Well, I've cut off 10th Man and Ranty, so I'm sure both of them have got something to add.
Yes, I do. Rumpus would have you believe the deck, the horizon, is refracting. Really, Rumpus? Objects refract.
Well, in his model, 10th Man, the effects of refraction over 10 miles and an observer height of 1 foot, not 3 foot, 1 foot, it changes the refracted horizon by 0.1 of a mile from 1.2 miles to 1.3 miles. And that's the extent of the refraction in the model. They have to make it flat to explain it.
Excuse me. This is not debatable. The sextant. I've been waiting for the trap to be laid, and Rumpus, you fell in the trap beautifully. The sextant does not work with your description. The sextant is a right angle. The deck is horizontal to the horizon, and it must be straight. It can't be fluctuating, or navigation dies with your garbage talk. You're dead, Rumpus.
The whole model's dead, 10th.
Navigation will not work according to Rumpus's description. Navigation only works if the deck is solid. Thank you. Here he fell in the trap.
What did we talk about?
Yeah, but he fell in it.
No, not yet. My word, we just talked about this yesterday.
I didn't know they were going to fall in it that quick.
No, they didn't fall in anything that quick. My word, man.
Did you just get on the show, or did you hear the whole thing?
I didn't hear the whole thing. I just come on.
He fell in it.
Okay, well,
he fell in it so deep. Anyway, Nathan, on Master B, I have that reference on that video where the guy describing longitude, latitude says the edge, and it's a common use video. So I think if you read the disclaimer, it could be shared. I'm not sure about YouTube things, but it's there. It's at the 1 minute mark.
Well, we'll probably come to that in the after show, but in the meantime, there's several of the super chats that I've not shouted out. So Rumpus is getting wrecked again, masochist, says JQ. Thank you very much for the super chat. Unitox Femu says, if Earth is a sphere, Rumpus is a cube. Right on. Yeah. Also, Godzilla37 says, help to find the miss super chat. Right, it did move it all along. Thank you very much indeed. And God Scalpel, shout out to the ball bashing crew. Really appreciate all of your support. Thank you very much indeed. If you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 live stream, then this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the G+ and Discord server for making this live show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
There's a lot of energy in the air today. I think a lot of it comes from Tony. Because he was so lively in this morning before the early bird show, during the early bird show, and as soon as he came on, Flat Earth Debate's in there.
Was Tony triggered today?
No, he's just rileyed up.
He's rileyed up. It's about time. I've been trying to get his blood flowing for a while now.
Well, I don't blame him, because look what this freaking moron Blue Marble Science did. You know,
what did Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard, do?
Go ahead, Riley. Tell him. Well,
hey, Tony, before you tell me, is there, Nathan, do you want these guys in the after show or no?
Yeah. Yeah, kick them all to the after show. Yes, please. Kick them all to the after show, please.
Okay.
He just...
Go on,
I don't know if Sleeping Warrior's away from his mic. Oh, of course, you want to hear the answer.
No, I'm here.
Give it 10 seconds just for QE to kick everyone to the after show.
What the answer to what question?
He's asking you, what did Hillbilly Blue Balls do?
Okay. Give me a yo that you can hear me.
You hear him, QE?
There's chemtrails flying circles over here. Serious.
Hold on, Arwin.
Weird. Look at that.
Hold on, just 1 second, Arwin. Hold on. Yes, they can all hear you now, I believe.
See that? Making a freaking circle over there right now.
Hello.
I just asked a question to Anthony. Are you talking about a cat?
He's talking about chemtrails.
Oh.
Circle.
Well, that's better.
Would you make a circle?
Arwin, what the fuck are you doing? Shut up.
Right. They're trying to play tic-tac-toe on.
So back to the question.
Riley,
sorry,
go ahead,
we interrupted when I moved. Go ahead.
Ask the question so that I know that I'm answering the correct question.
Well, Chocolate said that, and you were Chocolate didn't say you were all rileyed up. Arwen said you were all rileyed up this morning, early this morning, over Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard. What happened?
Hillbilly Blue Balls did a video that initially I didn't realize was based on a video that I did not actually cite. I did a video cited based on BMSL 69 or whatever his channel's called. I can't remember the channel. I'm not overtly familiar with it. I know of him, but he's not a channel that I regularly frequent. So that's why I'm not familiar with his name. I cited a video from his archive, and it's the one that we're talking about with the oil platforms. It was one linked from your hangout on the Quantum Eraser show a couple of days back. Hillbilly Blue Balls has then done a Riley's being dishonest cherry picking video based on a video that I didn't even cite. And he's claimed that I've missed bits out of the video intentionally because it didn't support my narrative. But the video that he is citing from is on a channel that I've never even heard of, didn't know existed until today, and was not the video that I cited. So to demonstrate that I wasn't being dishonest, I showed that the video that I relied on was not the same video that Hillbilly Blue Balls did rely on to make the assertion. And I then demonstrated that I showed evidence where I did present evidence that was contrary to our assertions, because I found some curvature in the past. Obviously, it wasn't curvature, but I did present evidence that contrary to our opinion, our assertions. And then I said, where do ballers ever present evidence contrary to their assertions? They never do it. So I was just demonstrating that Hillbilly Blue Balls owes me an apology for falsely stating that I misled people by snipping out evidence contrary to my opinion on a video that I did not even know existed.
Thank you. That was pretty concise.
And then Rumpus
Appreciate
came
that.
out and tried
Okay.
to defend him.
Sorry, I don't mean to go back. I got to re-listen to the show. I ain't gonna have you guys rehash the show. Go on. Rumpus did come in right now. Yeah, just a couple.
You can also watch my show instead. He's on it full out as well. So
I just need a minute. So Rumpus come in? I see Rumpus in here in the Discord, so he must have came in. Okay, now I'm gonna have to give Rumpus some kudos because for 3 hours he tried to tell the knuckleheads. I think there was 15 to 20 of them, including that retard Mark Doxey, the actual argument. See, Rumpus knew what the actual argument was. So
I agree.
Kudos to Rumpus. Let me ask you a question, clowns, on the Jose Retard show. If Rumpus, who should be institutionalized after being horse tranquilized and straitjacketed, has to instruct you on a simple truth that you can't get, where is your mental status? So kudos to Rumpus, man. I know you tried about 20 times. They just couldn't get it, man. I was laughing my ass off.
Rumpus may be devious, but he is still kind of sharp despite that.
I have to echo those words, John. Rumpus does understand the question and the point. Everybody else wants to talk about everything else but the point in question. And it's simple. Why is the horizon behind the second platform and it's not 1.2 miles away from the camera like it should be on a sphere? That is the question, and Rumpus knows it, but he just didn't want to let him speak.
Nope. Hold on. Am I on acid? I asked him that question.
Hey, only you know what type of mushroom you put in your coffee this day.
Man, I could have swore I asked him that question about at least a dozen times, and he just paraphrased the question back to me. Am I imagining that? Didn't that just happen on a live show with a couple of hundred people?
You're referencing your show. Me and John are referencing Jose's show yesterday.
Yeah, but you're giving him kudos for recognising a question that was put to him half a dozen times by me and just got rephrased. So why is he getting kudos for that? I know he's previously demonstrated that he might have understood the question. Did he give an answer to the question on Jose's? Because here he didn't.
No. He started to talk about refraction, but what you're doing, Nathan, is referencing what we've just said against your show, where he did not do that. And in Jose's show, he did do that. He's playing two parts of the different deck of cards.
Okay.
On Jose's show, he was trying to answer the question. On your show, he was trying to obfuscate the question.
He wants to have his R and eat it at the same time.
No, he spent most of the show trying to get everyone on the show to understand what the actual question was, but no one did. 3 hours.
So you did say you gave an answer, though. You said yes.
Yes, his answer was in 2 parts. Number 1, BMLSB 69 wasn't at 1 foot elevation. That's the first answer. The second answer he said was refraction.
Oh, he said that here. He said that here, then claimed he was being censored when I pointed out that his refraction would be begging the question and assuming an R value.
You stopped him at the begging the question fallacy. I got you.
It was
Nathan.
It was clinical.
Even allowing him to beg the question would be another monstrous train wreck, because Rumpus or any of the other friggin' clinical level Dunning-Kruger baltards don't know what refraction is. Even their own refraction, terrestrial refraction, they don't understand it. And that's even wrong.
The same goes for gravity. You know, they have the machination, doesn't mean that they actually understand everything about it. They just do that. They follow it. They use it.
And when I came in, somebody said refracted horizon. Who said that?
I got it wrong. Oh, wait.
I was about to come to that. I was about to come to that, QE. So, what is it about their refraction when they do beg the question 7/6R that they don't appreciate about who's making all that background noise? Whoever's making that can you pop yourself on mute if you're not talking? What don't they understand about light being bent around a physical obstruction? What is it they don't understand about that, would you say?
They don't want to understand it. There's a difference.
No.
What I would say is they don't know. They just say refraction. That's a belly laugher. They have to identify what types of refraction are there. Most of them, 99.99% can't. All they can say is refraction. Refraction. But what they have to do, you see, you crayon munchers, you have to refract the horizon. There is no effect, none. Even in your fallacious, wrong refraction, is the horizon refracted. It's been how many years? I heard refraction the first day I was here. Refraction, refraction. You don't even know what it is. None of you.
Wouldn't that also
unbelievable?
Sorry, John, but wouldn't that also be them claiming an edge then?
That's what I was alluding to.
No.
So their refraction, 7/6R, bends light around the sphere. That's not the edge that's being bent around the sphere. That's the sphere. The light of the objects beyond the sphere edge is being bent around. So as John's just succinctly and concisely summarised, it ain't the horizon that's being loomed. That's not an effect of refraction. And even your own refraction has light being bent around that physical obstruction to bring it back from behind the physical obstruction. Well, that's not the obstruction being succumbing to the effect of refraction. That's not what's happening in your maths or in any effect of refraction ever. This is absolutely devastating to them. That's why Rumpus spent about 30 minutes avoiding the question, because there is no answer to it beyond the fact that it isn't a physical edge. It can't possibly be.
Can I say something, Nathan? Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Hey, Adam, as well.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Nathan. Afternoon. What I came in to say originally was that I only heard the very end of what was going on between you and Rumpus, but I could get the drift of it straight away. Rumpus got what he wanted there, because he found a way to avoid the argument by having an argument about begging the question. There is no way it's kind of what QA just said. But what I wanted to say was there is no way for things to loom unless they have an horizon to loom behind. There is no horizon to loom behind. Everything is in front of the horizon. So that argument is void straight away. Rumpus knows this, but he's turning it into an argument where he begs the question, and then we argue with him or whoever about begging the question. You understand what I'm saying?
No, that's what I said. He wants to get rid of the deck, but you can't have refraction without the deck. if you're gonna have it, you gotta have the deck first.
You can't have looming without an horizon in front. Everything is supposed to loom from behind the horizon, but the horizon is not. Everything is he's trying to argue for looming in that platform picture, but everything is in front of the horizon, so it can't be looming. Even in his world, it can't be looming.
Well put. Well put.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, very well said. Exactly. I mean, I didn't think it would ever get to the stage where you could conclusively debunk the curve calculator, because they can just arbitrarily apply more refraction in their mathematics and say it matches. Until now.
So, whenever you hear the term
videos in Master B.
Whenever you hear the phrase refracted horizon, just start belly laughing.
Yep.
In other words.
Now, horizon is caused by diffraction. By the way.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. When they say refraction, you say, okay, list the effects of refraction and then connect one of those definitions that are wrong anyway with the horizon, and only the horizon of being affected by refraction. That's how you do it. And just sit back and kick your feet up and start laughing.
Can I just play this clip that 10th Man shared with me?
Planet. And then from the center of the planet, we're going to draw a line to the edge of the equator. You'll
Was that it? Is that it, 10th Man?
Yeah, he says it many times thereafter too.
Okay.
Edge, you say?
So they do have an edge.
We knew that anyway. I mean, we don't need to draw that out too much, because really all we're addressing is the chat trolls that go, a sphere doesn't have an edge. It's like, okay, yeah, denying the very physicality of the thing you think is obscuring stuff in the distance isn't going to help you. It's just a really poor quality hand wave.
Yep.
Yeah, they do have an
edge.
Can
somebody in Master B post that?
I
just posted it in Master B. Can somebody post that picture for us, please?
Yeah, I can put it up on screen for the audience.
Tell me when it's up.
On screen for the audience now.
The Black Swan?
Yeah.
It's a nice
it's already up?
Yeah, I've got it on screen for the audience.
I can post.
Come out and play. See that, Black Swan? That's your Black Plague. Your fairy tale just went kablooey, because this one's got teeth. Ah!
What?
Thank you.
Do you want to explain that? I explained it on the live show, but can you explain the principle of your analogy?
Maybe this one's got a beak.
I don't know. It's Karl Popper, right?
Yeah, Karl Popper came up with it many, many years ago. To discuss. It was really easy. If you have a theory that all swans are white, then all I need do to implode your fairy tale is show one Black Swan. And I've already showed it. I'm going to show it again this Tuesday. I might do this presentation for the rest of the year. Every single time I come on. I love it. Thanks.
Yeah, I've got a new housekeeping question out of it. Job's a good one. But yeah, the analogy is such. If you are to claim that the horizon is the physical leading edge of a sphere causing an obstruction, then that physical leading edge of a sphere obstructing things in the distance cannot be beyond where it's claimed to be, let alone 10 times the distance of where it's claimed to be. All that's demonstrating is what we've said all along. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. Now, it doesn't matter if you come along tomorrow and say, hey, I've gone out today, and based on where my horizon is today, the horizon being a not actual location, an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground, but on this occasion, it looks like it matches with my reification of a globe model and where it says that physical edge should be. Therefore, it's a physical edge. No. The Black Swan is the picture of that claimed to be physical edge way off in the distance on the flat plane we live on. That's our Black Swan. Doesn't matter if you've only got one Black Swan. This isn't science where we're repeating an experiment. You just need to see it once, and it completely obliterates any idea or notion that the horizon is a physical edge. It isn't. It couldn't possibly be. We've got a Black Swan. A picture of it in the distance where it couldn't possibly be. End of curve calculator.
Oh, and by the way, if you appeal to BMLSB 69, where he shows you, he goes down to the beach, right? The water's coming up almost to the camera, right? If you say that it's not water, no problem.
You're roboting.
He could be at 30 feet in that position, and you're still
You're roboting.
bone.
You're roboting.
Sorry about that.
Can you leave and rejoin? I'll do the same just in case it's me.
The QE Terminator is roboting. How ironic.
Yeah, but it's not even like there's just one Black Swan. How many observations out there are just like this, showing things that we should not see, impossible pictures or videos? I keep calling it a picture. It's a video, right? Where you can literally see the guy put the camera down to the ground at the beach. I mean, come on. It's a wrap, guys. This is not, we're just talking about this one Black Swan.
We hear
there
you
are
now.
many.
We hear you now, QE.
How about now, Nathan?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh my God. How about now, Nathan?
Yes, we hear you clearly, nice and clear.
Thank you. Now, can I finish my point?
Go ahead.
The 1 foot observation from BLSB 69, where he takes the camera down to the beach's edge and has the water rolling up to him. Even if he's at 30 feet in that observation, you baltards are still dead. Do you understand me? You don't even know that. It is so scary to listen to your bumping and fumbling and stumbling around your fairy tale spinning ball space monkey religion. I'll tell you what, just do more shows. You had a whole show attempting to debunk this claim, and nobody knew the claim. Can you? I'm speechless. You didn't know the claim. No one could repeat the claim. Rumpus nearly got there. Like I said, I have to give him kudos. But I don't know. You live around power lines while sniffing glue, mainlining fluoride? What a joke. Keep doing shows. Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer for the people getting fluffed to recognise the actual significance of what's been presented on Ballbusters 30. Obviously there's going to be people like Rumpus that recognise it instantly and realise that this needs addressing and needs to spend 3 hours fluffing his little minions.
He tried. Mark Doxey, that frigging moron. Rumpus told him better than 10 times what the argument was. He still repeated the same nonsensical argument that he thought it was. Mark Doxey. I'm just going to treat you as a baller now. Listen, when Rumpus is correcting you and you don't get the correction after 10 times, you've got some serious mental issues, son. Thanks.
I posted another description of the Black Swan. I think it's appropriate. This is a phrase used to refer to an event that comes as a surprise and has a major effect.
You can say that again. Yeah, it's going to slowly dawn on them. The ones that are idiots just think, it's just another show, and they don't really pay attention. The ones that prick their ears up have taken them to one side and gone, no. Yeah, you need to understand why this is devastating.
Okay, you said it.
And then
This
you had
is a
Lewis
phrase-
Hackett. Then you had Lewis Hackett, that friggin' crayon muncher, sitting in his chair, thinks that he didn't even understand the argument. Lewis, post the syllogism. You frigging clown, you. Yeah, that's an inside joke, man.
I wasn't going to ask. How long do you reckon before the dumber Globers get the argument? I reckon it'll take at least another week. What do you reckon?
I bet 9 months.
9 months before they recognise the devastation this argument causes their assumption and reification of a globe model.
No, 9 months to recognize that the actual argument.
9 months just to recognise the horizon can't be there?
No, 9 months to recognize the actual argument, what the argument actually is that's brought against them. I have heard, no one has repeated it. Not even Rumpus. Rumpus, even though you got kudos, you did not repeat my argument against you. I want every word of my argument repeated by a baller and answered.
So you want
because if you would have done that, then there would have been none of this freaking peripheral activity regarding other photos, other videos, other anything. You wasted 3 hours. I want to hear a baller repeat exactly my argument. It's only a sentence long. You can get it out in one breath.
It's your Modus tollens formulation that you want them to repeat. Hello?
No, just the actual. I guess they could repeat the Modus tollens. I guess they could. I guess I would accept. No, I'm not going to accept that. Should I tell them what the actual argument is?
Yeah, go on. Why not?
Listen up, ballers. Here's the actual case brought against you. Listen carefully. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then horizon distance measurements must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the geometric horizon. Period. That's the argument brought against you. I want to hear somebody, one of the ballers, repeat it and then answer it.
Can I make a prediction there, Nathan?
Yeah, go ahead.
I predict, from a realistic standpoint, after 5 years of Flat Earth, I predict that a good 40% of the ballers will never actually, ever understand this. They will never get it. Even if it came out that they were told by every government in the world the Earth was flat, they still wouldn't understand why. And they definitely would not understand what that was about. Even if it was explained to them in a school setting, they wouldn't get it. They're just not going to get it.
Do you think that that's the case for like somebody like Blue Marble, Hillbilly, whatever, right? When he does a video and then he purposely, because obviously, I mean, you made a video, so you did the research, right? Obviously, you want to go after Riley, so you cite a video that Riley never talked about, never mentioned, never linked anything, and you purposely put that in your video. That's a straight out bullshit lie. Now you did the same thing when you had a video that you named gas pressure without a container, and then you had 2 containers in the video. So my question is this, like, do you understand the argument, or you're just purposely lying to people, or is it both?
You've got no. He's not. Chocolate. No, he's not. That to charge somebody with lying, you got to know intent. This is clearly not lying. This is a clear case of Hanlon's razor.
Wait, is this quantum erasure talk?
This is a clear case of Hanlon's razor, right? Don't attribute to malice. That
Put that razor back.
Who's interrupting
crazy
me?
Motherfucker.
Me?
What's your best argument for FB?
Who's interrupting? Shut up. Don't. It's Hanlon's razor. Don't attribute to malice, which can be explained by complete and utter stupidity.
I was just going to say that. I didn't know that was Hamlin's razor, but that was just what I was going to say. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't necessarily think he's trying to swindle people or has concocted a plan to deceive. It could just literally be stupid.
I mean, I guess. It's sad, though. These are the guys that are responding. This is the response you have. I mean...
Hey, I'd like all the flat earthers when they get confronted with this, I'd like all the flat earthers that are listening, and you have somebody come up against the argument, which they don't know, hold their feet to the fire and ask them what the actual argument is that's brought against them and see if they can tell you.
Let's see. We've got somebody who's keen. Hey, M. Stone. Do you understand the argument that's on the table at the moment?
What's your argument?
That's what we're asking you. That's what
No,
we're
I asked
asking.
for your best argument.
So no, then.
Do you have any argument? I know you don't have it. Shit. Come on.
That's epic.
I'd love to hear some. I'm recording. Come on.
You're
Your best
recording.
argument.
We're proud of you. You did that all by yourself?
Hold on. Let's try again.
Best argument.
Sorry. Let me just try and clarify for you.
Best argument, bro.
Let me just try and clarify for you, M. Stone. So we're in a situation where we've laid down what I would consider to be one of our best arguments. And the problem we're having just discussed that argument and explained it in detail, or Quantum Eraser has explained it in detail literally about 3 minutes ago, we're now trying to assess whether or not...
Can you do it again for
I hadn't
me?
quite...
Wasn't here, shit.
M. Stone, I'm still in the middle of a sentence. Are you that intolerable that you can't literally listen to the end of my sentence?
Your best argument.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of a
now or not?
sentence. M. Stone, what's the issue here? What's the issue?
Can you explain
I'll try again. My friend.
Can you hear us?
Triggered.
Can you hear us?
Arwin, you're not helping. You're not helping. M. Stone, I'll try and get to the end. You've asked for our best argument, and I'm giving it you. Do you want it?
You're talking about something that happened a few minutes ago. Can you just get to the point?
Yeah, okay. Our best argument was offered about 3 minutes ago, and we're trying to assess if people on the globe side actually...
Holy shit!
Sorry, M. Stone, you seem to have Tourette's. Have you got Tourette's? Have you got Tourette's? I still am yet to finish this sentence.
Argument.
I'm yet to finish this statement. You just won't let me. You keep having outbursts. I'll try again. So we're trying to establish if people on your side, people like yourself asking us for our best argument, actually understand the argument that's currently on the table. That is our question. We've given you our best argument here, M. Stone. Do you understand it? Maybe you could repeat the argument back to us.
What was your argument?
So you can't.
An argument.
So you can't. So we are correct. The globe side doesn't understand this argument.
You didn't state an argument. You fucking weirdo, man. Where is your argument?
No worries.
What?
No worries.
Is your argument?
Just get him.
It's all right,
he
Stone.
hasn't heard the argument, I think.
Wow,
it's okay. You didn't hear it, even though...
You what your argument is. I just got in here, dipshit.
Yeah, that's what we're asking you. Okay, Stone, try and stop talking for a second and listen to my reply. You're asking what our argument is. And we're saying the people on your side don't understand our argument. And you're saying, well, what is it? Yeah, demonstrate that you don't understand it.
People on the other side don't understand your
If
argument.
you don't tell him the argument,
Yeah, and
how
you're
is he
actually
supposed to
proving the
understand
argument
it?
right now,
yeah, he
buddy,
doesn't
so
get
keep
that.
going.
He's so chocolate's correct. He's so dumb. He doesn't realize how well he's proving my point right now. But
Yes,
I'll let him continue
that's
as long
what
as
it
he
is.
likes.
I'm so dumb.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, keep asking me.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what it is.
Yeah, Stone.
Keep going, bro.
Stone, keep asking me what our best argument is. Yeah, keep doing that. That's what's making you seem stupid. Now, I know that even if I try and explain how it's making you look stupid, you won't listen. I'll try.
You can't even tell me what your argument
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep it up, you moron. You are demonstrating how stupid you are by asking me that question, and you don't know why. I'll try again for the second time to explain why.
Is you don't understand your argument.
keep it up.
Okay. Well, let's get more specific. What part of the argument do we not understand?
I don't know. You tell me.
The whole damn thing. Dumbass. What argument are we talking about again, M Stone? Which argument?
You tell me about the argument, and then we'll tell you which part you don't get.
Hey, you don't have an argument, do you?
Yeah, we've laid one out, and we're trying to assess if you understand it.
Specific.
Yeah, we have. We've laid it out.
Nothing.
So you keep talking. Do you just keep want to saying you've got nothing over the top of me saying something, mate? Yeah. So
You have nothing.
I'll try again.
All you've got is you don't
you can.
understand my argument.
Yeah. So you do want to do that. So Tourette's then. Tourette's.
Guy's on meth or
something. He's got Tourette's. He's got some sort of mental
Can't
problem.
tell me any specific.
Yeah, you're not shutting up, are you?
Understand.
You're doing a rumpus. He's trained you to not shut up. I'll try once more. Let's see if he starts talking immediately when I pause. Yeah, of course he will.
Argument are you saying we don't understand?
Well, tell us.
Which argument are we talking about?
Yeah. Which argument would that be? Let's see how well you understand it.
Which part of what argument?
Any of them. Any of them.
Any of them.
Yeah, the Horizon argument.
There's only one argument brought against you.
No. Let's not be.
I think the problem,
guys.
the problem, guys, is that he hasn't heard the argument, so he's asking for it.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Oh, wow. I see.
That's not the
You
problem.
understand
The problem
that
is
your argument
40%.
isn't an argument,
That's
right?
What argument?
What argument
is that? What argument, my man?
Exactly.
Exactly, M Stone. Exactly. Every time you say exactly, you demonstrate how thick you are. It's really good, this. You don't even know why. It's great.
I don't think people hearing
Don't
this.
tell him.
Don't
Don't
tell
tell
him.
him.
You can go on
Don't
and
tell him.
believe
This
that.
is funny. Don't tell him.
I'm not going to.
Don't tell him. This is
I'm gonna wait for him to ask me which argument we've got. I'm gonna wait for that, and then laugh at him again.
Don't give me any specific argument. Please don't. That would be crazy.
Isn't that what you wanted?
Give me a specific argument that we balders don't understand.
I may not even get it.
You don't know how stupid
This guy
you
is
are.
an utter moron.
M Stone, you're great, mate. You've just become one of my favourite dumb ballers. You know that, right?
He's actually displaying terrestrial refraction.
Why are you guys laughing?
I'm still waiting.
What? Who asked that? Why are we laughing?
This
is one of those worst moments.
If I tell you guys what color is the pants I'm wearing, and I don't tell you the color, how are you supposed to know the color?
Oh, okay. I'll try and answer.
You don't understand. You don't
I'll try and
understand this
answer
language that well, buddy.
if I'm allowed.
It's a whoosh moment. I swear to God, you'd be better.
Yeah, because we've dedicated.
Really? You're telling me I don't
he let me get 2 words in. He let me get 2 words. 2 words from this dumb fuck.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it to you. So we've dedicated an entire show today, this show, to this question, and also an entire Ballbusters dedicated to this question. And another dedicated Ballbusters had a sizable...
I don't watch your silly shit, man. You fucking crazy mong. You can't give me anything, can you?
What, other than 3 solid hours of this question being asked over and over again? And having had it asked moments before you asked us for the best question. Having had it repeated, I said 3 minutes before you asked that.
Any specific arguments you could come up with?
M Stone, you were the one that interrupted me when I repeated the argument.
You're a little bit.
And then you said, "What's
He's talking through you.
I'm asking you though. I just.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
You were in. You interrupted me. I slowly repeated the argument, and then you said, "What's the?"
He's recording this.
To be fair, I am kind of losing track of what this was about again.
About the horizon and the oil rigs, Arwin. It's about the horizon and the oil rigs. Let me try and answer Arwin, but I am guaranteeing you that while I give the game away, Stone will talk through it, even though I'm giving him what he wants. It's the argument about the horizon and its position and the oil rigs. That's enough vagueness for anybody who's got a vague clue about this to know what we're talking about.
So that's what you think.
It's enough for me. I remember. Thanks.
Right
Yeah, Stone was talking through you, Arwin, even though he wasn't involved. Even though he wasn't involved in that conversation between me and you, he's decided because he's got Tourette's that he's going to talk also, Arwin. So I didn't hear you, I'm afraid. Please, can you repeat yourself?
Tourette's.
I'm in no doubt that M. Stone, who has Tourette's, will start talking. Yeah, you are still talking, Mr. Tourette's. Guy with Tourette's. I'm trying to hear Arwin's response. Please. Go ahead, Arwin.
I just said thanks, Nathan, for reminding me what it was about again, because this half hour of meta talking, what is the question? And then talking about referencing, I forgot what it was about.
Yeah, that's fine. When M Stone came in and interrupted the summary of the very question, he then ignored the fact that we were trying to establish whether or not anybody on the globe side understands this question, that he interrupted with a question about our best proof that he interrupted. We're trying to establish if they understand it or not. He just wants the question we're trying to establish understanding of. He wants to interrupt it now. He wants to do it now. You know, he's got Tourette's. So I'm trying to point out we're trying to establish an understanding from their side, and we've just got people with Tourette's to deal with. So we're trying to establish from people like M. Stone if he understands our argument. And he's saying in response to that, well, what's the argument? Demonstrating just how fundamentally retarded these people are.
Yeah. Dude, you have no argument, man. That's how
it doesn't matter. He still doesn't understand.
I don't think he has the hardware space in his head to remember things.
Yeah.
Arwin, you're a fucking joke.
You just keep swearing at people.
Most of these people think
yeah,
you're
ad
a
hom.
female to male.
Just keep ad homming people, M. Stone.
Ad hom fallacy.
I do. Wow.
Ad hom, pal.
Yeah, ad hom fallacy. Pathetic.
Ad hom? You just personally attacked
You're such a
me.
cornball, bro. It's not even funny.
You just attacked me.
What the fuck
who's
is
the ad homer?
He's a retard.
Yeah, we've got people with Tourette's coming to defend the sphere religion. It's pathetic. And when we try and establish with these retards, if they understand our argument, the question they give us in response is, well, what's the argument? You haven't given it me. I mean, we're dealing with complete morons.
Did you guys catch that? He was the one that interrupted me, and then I started over again. You understand?
No, because you're dropping out.
It has to be a will.
Is it my end? Is it my end? Let's just try my end.
Might be you with me.
There we go.
John is
willful ignorance.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, good.
Be careful, he's recording. What's his argument?
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead. What's your question?
What's his argument? I'm only a listener. I'm not flat. I will say I'm not flat earther. I'm not global. I'm listening you, Nathan, 2 years, and I want to hear what his argument.
He doesn't have one.
Of course.
Yeah, he doesn't have any.
He keeps asking what the argument is.
Argument is horizon and that picture. He need to watch shows and to say something about something or
no. He said that he didn't know what the argument was, but he heard me say it because he interrupted me. Then I stopped and restarted the actual argument, and then he said, "What's the argument?"
Yeah, but he was all the time saying like I came now, I didn't hear the argument, and he wanted to hear anything like I want to see flat earth, I want to hear Nathan what the argument is about flat Earth. I didn't hear.
It's like Rumpus screaming you're censoring me whenever, you know, you're like bashing in one of his bullshit points.
Hey, FE Jedi, I see your light popping up. Are you trying to say something?
No, I'm not trying to say anything, mate. It's just my microphone rattling on my beard. That's all.
All right.
Jedi.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming.
So,
Huey, is that retard still here?
I was going to say the guy with the foreign... hold on 1 second. The guy with the foreign accent wanted to ask him something. So if you want to ask Stone something, feel free. Do you want to repeat your question?
I don't think that gentleman heard you, Nathan.
Do you want to repeat your question? You said if he's still here, I want to ask him what his proof is.
Ah, yeah. What his argument is. His argument.
M. Stone, he asked you what your argument was.
Oh, I believe in NASA. I believe we have 72 space agencies. Not really an argument.
So your argument.
Hold on.
So your argument is
There
a
is
belief
no
in
debate
something.
here, dumbass.
Hold on. Let him finish.
So you are.
Hold
your
on, QE.
argument is
Hold
a
on.
belief
QE.
in
Hello.
NASA?
Hello.
That's your
Hello. Go ahead, M. Stone. Can you complete whatever you were going to say and get more?
The Earth.
Go ahead. Sorry, M. Stone. Can you start again?
And that's
not
true.
here. I believe in NASA. I believe that we have 72 space agencies. I believe we went to space. I believe we went to the moon.
Oh.
Is that it?
Great argument. Is that
hold
all?
Hold on. I just want to see if that's the end. Is that it, M. Stone? Space agencies.
I have a preponderance of evidence. I have the huge amount of evidence on my side.
Is there any more than
72 space agencies? Some
we heard that?
owned.
Yeah, we heard that bit.
I have a whole thing called orbital mechanics on my side. I have physics on my side.
No,
I
you
have
don't.
Can you stop
everything
interrupting
on my
him?
side.
No, you don't.
I have nothing.
Guys, can you stop
Literally
interrupting
have
him?
Nothing.
Whoever's... Oh, my
Except
God.
my-
Whoever's talking, shut up. I just want to hear M. Stone. Stop laughing and talking through him.
That's all you've got. I've got a preponderance of evidence. You have nothing. I can see too far on some days. That's it.
Okay. I want to only say they
hello,
want to hear that.
Hello. So, just to summarise M. Stone's points that I've heard so far: orbital mechanics, space agencies, trips to the moon. Is there anything else?
Physics, math, science, technology, the past 2,000 years. Copernicus, Newton, Einstein, every fucking scientist alive. Find me an FE scientist. Find me an FE with a PhD in anything.
Is that it?
We all know what happened to Brian.
No worries.
Mullins.
No worries. So, can we start with the first one, M. Stone? Hopefully, if you want to expand on the first point, now's your opportunity. You said we've got space agencies, correct?
72 of them.
Right.
Some privately owned. Some, you understand?
No, he said the first one
right?
was, hold on a second. The first one he said he believes in NASA. That was his claim.
Yes, I believe the preponderance of evidence.
That's not your first claim. You said you believe in NASA.
Okay,
can
well,
you
we can
please?
go wherever you
What
want
is
to with this, Huey. We can go wherever you want to with
Oh my God.
Just want to go one at a time.
this. Which one do you want to start with first, man?
I've tried
the preponderance of evidence or
Yeah,
NASA?
M. Stone. Okay, we'll work our way through them, starting with NASA specifically. So, hopefully you'll let us address that. I don't care who.
Okay, and there's only 71 other space agencies that you have to go through after that.
Okay. But in regards to that specific
Okay, good
point...
luck, let's go.
No, I don't need you to now start running my show, M. Stone. I'm trying to be respectful of you. And
All
you
right,
don't...
hurry up, man. Let's go. I know you don't.
All right, I'll tell you what,
problem.
M. Stone. So far, I'm demonstrating to my audience that I'm being respectful to you. I'm letting you make your point. I'm not censoring you. But now you're censoring me by telling me to get on with it. I run the show. I'm offering you respect, and I expect the same in return. That is to say, while I'm speaking, don't interrupt me. Is that okay by you? If it's not, this conversation's over.
Man. Fuck off.
Oh, well, okay. If fuck off is your answer, you're an intolerable prick and you're not worthy of discussing anything like this with. Now, I've already had your proofs. I don't actually need you to partake in this conversation. You're too stupid to recognise that. I've got a summary of your points already. So you don't need to interrupt me. I can just shut you up and address all your points that came through clearly. And your opportunity to expand on your points was used to tell me to fuck off and get on with it. Well, brilliant expansion on your points. Thank you. Your space agencies claim to maintain their discipline in a place that isn't real. Space. This vast vacuum that, if it was real, would necessitate us at sea level being at 10 to the minus 17 torr, because the gas we breathe would expand rapidly into that place they claim they operate in. Ergo, all 72 space agencies which claim to operate in a vacuum are bunk. Bye-bye NASA. Bye-bye ESA. Bye-bye all private enterprise claiming to maintain any sort of discipline that takes place in a second law of thermodynamics violation. That is to say, we have this natural law where the gas we breathe would want to expand in all directions unless it's got something to press upon. Now, your bullshit world with space has Earth as an open system in an ever-expanding vacuum. The gas in that situation, which we definitely need and have, would fill that space immediately. We'd have no gas, and that is why space is fake. All of the agencies who claim to work there are merely lying with television broadcasts from a position you will never occupy and cannot exist. So thank you for your first claimed proof. What was the second one? I can't even remember. What was the second one beyond your fake space?
Orbital mechanics.
Oh, that just begs the question. Orbits assumes
Wait,
we
you
have
think
a
you can
spherical...
honestly just wave your hand over 72 space agencies and go, second law of thermodynamics, space
What the
don't
fuck are
if
you
they're not
talking
go,
about,
if they're
bro?
not
He just
actually going
explained
to
to you why
space
it's
and
not
space
possible. He
can't
just
actually
explained
exist,
to
then
you
yeah,
why it's not
we can
possible,
do
you
that.
dumbass.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Guy in Discord.
He
Sorry,
actually
Chocolate.
explained to you.
Yeah, no, the fact that he's hand-waving it and claiming I'm hand-waving it, and then saying you can't hand-wave it with the debunking, which I'm going to repeat by saying the debunking, second law of thermodynamics, the gas would fill the space, yeah. Yeah, that's my debunking, not a hand-wave, you stupid moron. So you hand-waving my debunking isn't going to work either when I've explained that the gas would fill the space. Pressure, that's what we experience. And it needs to press. But your heliocentric world's open. You've got things like Voyager leaving. Matter can escape. That's what Voyager did. Escape in your bullshit world of sphere. Now, moving on from your hand wave of my debunking of all 72 agencies in one foul swoop, based on the medium they claim to be in being fake, yeah, that's not a hand wave. It's a law of nature. Second law of thermodynamics. Thank you, Chocolate. Orbital mechanics. A begging the question fallacy. Automatically assuming orbits. So what's an orbit? Where something falls around another celestial body? Oh, well, that would be the very thing that you're trying to prove now. Merely stating your religious belief in such occurrences isn't proving that that actually happens. It's merely you begging the question using a word that assumes the very thing you're trying to prove. So assuming that the moon's falling around Earth and Earth's falling around Sun by way of a use of a word orbits doesn't prove that that's actually the case. It just merely begs the question. Maybe I'd like you to tell me that's a hand wave. M. Stone.
Yes, you have no idea what you're talking about, dude. Are you saying that orbital mechanics doesn't exist?
It's begging the question. It's not proving. I got two words out. It's intolerable Tourette's, man. So he's asked me something direct, left a pause, and then started talking 3 seconds later. Yes. Orbits is the assumption that bodies fall around one another. For example, but not limited to, Earth falling around the sun. As in, let me think, the heliocentric system. The very thing you're trying to prove is assumed with the word orbits. Not a proof, a fallacious argument known as begging the question. Back to Tourette's. Back to Tourette's before I finished, is it, you fucktard? Yeah, I hadn't quite finished, but Tourette's took over too soon. Yes, it's called a fallacious argument, begging the question. Orbits assumes the very thing you're trying to prove. So what's your proof that we're in a heliocentric world? Well, this word that assumes we're in a heliocentric world proves it for me. No, it doesn't. It's circular reasoning. It's called begging the question. You're just thick, M. Stone.
Wait, he keeps saying science. Is this one of those cases where science has proven something? Is that what's going on? So the story's changed up to science proved things now.
We're going to go to the semantic argument.
No,
because
science.
you can't do anything else.
Is there science for your
what do you
globe?
think the first law of thermodynamics is?
What, energy can't be created? Energy can't be created or destroyed. Energy can't be created or destroyed. That one. We're not having an evolution argument. Who cares?
Yeah, you don't have a clue.
Sorry, we're not having an evolution argument. We're dissecting what you... Stone, my friend. I asked you if you wanted to expand on anything you've given me. Now you're rumpusing me while I point that out. I gave you ample time to make your examples. I summarised your examples, then asked if you wanted to expand on them. Now we're dissecting them. Now I know this is painful and you need to obfuscate our dissection. You just want to throw out your claim to be proofs and then move on asking me questions. No. Now I know that you haven't conceded that space is fake based on the second law of thermodynamics. I appreciate that you're now asking me about the first law of thermodynamics to segue away from the first debunking. Now I know all of these things, but we're still going to plough our way through your complete nonsense assumption of your religion by way of orbits.
So what is the first law of thermodynamics again?
Well, energy can't be created or destroyed. That's not the second law that debunks space. We're not talking about evolution. We're not talking about your idea that the Earth created everything from nothing. We're not talking about that law. We're not talking about that law. Second law. You didn't listen to my debunking. You're deaf.
Do you really think that?
You're deaf. Not the first law. Second law.
He thinks thermodynamics is proof.
You really think you understand science enough that science made a law that...
Nobody's making laws with science. Right, let's educate this stupid dick. You can listen on the re-up while he talks. No. Natural law. We're not talking about science. We're talking about natural law. Not something that's been through science. We're not adhering to the scientific method when we describe a natural law. It is what it is. It happens regardless. We're never going to establish the cause. So it's not going through this method. It's merely a law of nature. Now I say merely. It applies always. It is what it is. Now if you can defy the first or second law, great. Let's see you defy them. We've been asking for about 18 months.
You've been asking, well, I don't watch your silly ass show, man. Okay. Just quit fleecing ignorant people of money, dude.
What's this segue? What about orbits? What about space being fake? You haven't addressed any of those things. You just hand-waved them.
Space isn't fake. Orbits are real.
I don't think you understand any of these arguments.
I've asked him.
Real, man.
I've asked him to address my rebuttal, and he's reasserted his claim that I debunked. You know, back to we started this with a far more advanced argument that we were trying to establish if he understood. Now, by demonstration, he's literally just demonstrated that he didn't understand the argument that we were having now, because he hasn't repeated my rebuttal back to me and then debunked the rebuttal. He claimed I had given a hand wave when I used the second law of thermodynamics. Now, no, that wasn't a hand wave. That was me using natural law to debunk the claim that we've got a vacuum for a sky, and not a hand wave. Now, when I've reiterated that, this moron with Tourette's hasn't repeated my debunking. He's reasserted his religious belief. Space is real, man! That's all he's got. because he hasn't comprehended the debunking. Now, what hope have we got for him understanding the Black Swan argument when literally he doesn't understand this argument that's been laid out to him in painstaking detail by me? He's got no hope of understanding that argument, which is what the original question to this Tourette's-ridden moron was. All he can do is swear at me and tell me that I'm an e-beggar. Smash the super chat, by the way.
Space is real, man. Game over, man.
I'm gonna try one more thing with him, see if he can tolerate a question being put to him.
Oh, you think you've won, right? You think this is gonna look good?
I didn't even need to
We have
declare
arguments, at
that.
least.
He's divining my thoughts. Crystal ball, maybe?
Hiding your thoughts.
Yeah, you said you think you've won. No, those
Argument's
words...
been over for 3 years.
Yeah, hold on, my friend. This is painful enough as it is. Sorry, John. So, M Stone, I'm going to try and put one more question to
You
you.
idiots have debunked space.
Yeah, that's what I was going to... That was what my question was going to be in regards to, actually.
Fucking ego you must have to think that you debunked space.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there.
I mean,
Well, let's see how we can get on. That's what my question's in regard to,
dare
M
you.
Stone. I'm trying to get there, but other people are rumpusing also, painful that it is. So, I've put a debunking...
Anybody that has a contrary
2 words. Got 2
opinion,
words.
dude.
2 words. Yeah, it's about what you're referring to, space, and I think I've debunked it. Is this not going to be a reasonable conversation again?
Dude, it's never been. You've never debunked space, you crazy individual.
Okay, I'll try now, and we'll see how we get on, M Stone. So, I have offered a rebuttal in regards to a natural law.
You've offered nothing. You said the third law.
Yeah, we're not having a reasonable conversation, M Stone. This isn't
Done anything.
not having a reasonable
You've offered
conversation.
some lip service, dude. You've offered some lip service that has done nothing.
Okay, M Stone.
Done nothing to debunk.
No worries, no worries. Can you
Done
explain?
nothing.
I'll try. It's not going to be successful. So, can you explain my lip
But
service?
this is what your audience wants, right?
What? Hearing you be stupid? Yeah, they do. They like hearing thickos like you.
Thermodynamics, that doesn't work, so space isn't real, and blah blah blah. I mean, come on, man, that is just absolutely nuts, man.
Is that my argument? That was where I wanted to get to. So, is that my argument as you understand it, M Stone?
See how this FE ages, man. See how this shit doesn't follow you around for the rest of your silly ass lives, man.
Sorry, I'm asking you a question. Do you understand my argument? M Stone.
Wrong.
M Stone.
Come see me in
Try
5
and
years.
listen. You just seem to have Tourette's. Do you understand my argument regarding space? Can you repeat it to me? You said it's lip service.
You're the one saying space doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
And 72 space agencies across the whole world, around the whole world.
Yeah, we got that. So, again, just for the audience's benefit, he won't shut up. So I said he won't be able to comprehend my argument. He will only be capable of repeating his religious belief. So I'm asking him to describe what he called lip service so that I understand that he understands my argument. And rather than repeating it back, he won't let me ask that question clearly enough for him to even recognise there's a question being asked. So these complete, like, they're mentally incapable of listening most of the time. I'm trying again, like at the original point of him coming into the conversation, to establish if this monkey can actually understand the argument that's being put back to him. So I'm saying, do you understand my argument regarding why space is fake? And his reply is, space is real, man! We're assessing your comprehension ability, M Stone. It's poor.
That was not my reply. My reply is you did nothing to debunk space by saying the second law of thermodynamics negates space. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Why?
You think
do you understand
72
why that's
space
being said?
agencies are all lying?
Will you care to explain why is
You're
that
the only
ridiculous?
one smart enough.
Yeah,
to
I'm trying to get there.
Explain
He now won't shut up. He's got verbal diarrhea. It doesn't matter if 5 people ask him. Explain why that's...
think you're smart enough.
Explain why it's ridiculous. Don't just rumpus constantly. Explain why it's ridiculous, M Stone.
Because there's 72 space agencies.
So that's the original religious belief being asserted for the 3rd time in a row. So I've said, comprehend my argument beyond just stating second law of thermodynamics and no, it's not right. And he says, my religious belief, man, space. So again, we're at the same point. He cannot comprehend the argument that's put to him. Pathetic.
There's
I don't think
72
he
space
comprehend how
agencies stealing your
indoctrinated
money.
he is, man.
I don't think he can even distinguish between beliefs and actual grounded arguments at this point. I don't think he can distinguish really.
It doesn't understand the rebuttal.
You've got no arguments.
Here we have. We've explained that space is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. And by that, I've also reiterated on several occasions that the gas would fill the space. Gas expands in all directions to fill the available volume. Now, the available volume in your heliocentric religion is space. And the gas would want to fill it rapidly. Now, that's my argument. I'm trying to assess if you understand it. But the only response I get is, you haven't debunked it. Space is real, man.
You've done nothing to debunk.
There's 200 movies with zombies in it. Zombies are real. Zombies are real. 200 movies with zombies. Zombies are real.
Hello, John. You're rumpusing the crap out of him.
That's not a fair analogy, man. You're seriously saying that orbital mechanics isn't real, all this shit isn't real. Just by saying the third law of thermodynamics.
Oh my god, he's now gone completely off the rails. Completely off the rails, mate.
You broke him. You broke him, Nathan.
Sorry, I'll try. He's got limited attention.
Rumpusing! He's rumpusing!
Hello, are you having a mental breakdown on my show? So, we're asking about space, and you're understanding, oh no, he can't, he's having another mental breakdown. Oh dear, get it all out, go on.
Share your pain,
Share your pain, M-Stone. So we're trying to establish your understanding. There he goes again. There he goes again. Yeah, mental breakdown every time I talk. It must be painful to hear my voice. Very painful to hear my voice, is it, M-Stone? So we're trying to establish your understanding of my debunking. Yeah. I'll get another word in before he realizes it's a question to him that debunks space. We're trying to understand if you understand our debunking. Yeah, we do. You're just trying to establish if you understand the debunking. Why it's ridiculous, according to you. Yeah, we have. Second law of thermodynamics. Gas would fill the space.
Yeah, I have debunked space.
Yeah, the gas would fill it if the sky was a vacuum. Yeah, that's right.
That second law of thermodynamics.
This guy's hilarious.
He's having a mental breakdown. Yeah, the gas would fill the space.
I'm having a mental breakdown because I don't think you fucking debunked space.
Yeah, you've got Tourette's every time it gets annoying for you. The gas would fill the space.
Yes, I've got Tourette's. And you debunked space.
Yeah.
Yes, which one of us is more deluded?
Sorry, that's an... I've got to stick him on mute again to point out his logical fallacy, because he won't shut up. He hasn't debunked my use of the second law of thermodynamics to completely obliterate any assertion that the sky is a vacuum. He's just used an ad hominem attack and said that I'm stupid. So that doesn't address the argument, M-Stone. It's a logical fallacy. You know, you're demonstrating again how stupid you are.
I don't think this.
Can I say something, Nathan?
Truth, really, at this point.
It's been 20 minutes of me trying to get him to show that he can comprehend my debunking with the use of the second law, but he hasn't got there yet.
He can't handle it. He's getting more.
He doesn't even know what it is.
No, he's stupid.
He doesn't understand what we're saying.
Yeah, thick.
Is this a? Sorry.
Yes.
Is this a bad time for me to insert my prediction of 40% again?
Yeah, it's one of the 40%.
I'm interested to know how M. Stone thinks you stopped gas from actually fucking off.
So Jedi.
What's up, man? M. Stone, how do you think you stopped gas from fucking off?
Don't think he's gotten that far yet.
Let him answer.
What is space?
It's essentially asking my question differently to see if we get a comprehension of the debunking. It's a very clever rephrasing from F.E. Jedi, but I want to see if he answers.
Answer what?
M Stone, how do you stop gas from fucking off?
How do I stop gas from fucking off?
Yeah, man.
That's what you're asking?
Yeah. If you want to keep gas somewhere, how do I do it?
Yeah. That's yeah.
He doesn't know.
Hey, just FE Jedi, just FE Jedi, and M Stone.
You're right, man. I can't answer it. You guys are fucking just too smart for me, man. That's obviously what's happened here. You have debunked space.
Well, I just want to know, M Stone, I want to know how you keep gas somewhere.
No, obviously that's what's happened here. Is you've debunked space.
Can you answer the question though? How do you keep?
I'm not gonna answer your straw man question.
I think he's in the second stage of grief at this point. I don't think we can do anything intellectual with him.
I'm relenting. You have debunked space. There's no argument anymore. I don't believe in NASA anymore. You've debunked space for me. Thank you, man. Set me free.
It's excellent. So M Stone's left here with an appreciation that the gas would fill the space if the sky was a vacuum. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, that's all we were trying to say, but rather than comprehending the argument and repeating it back, you've actually, conceded that the gas would fill the space? Well, that's amazing. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't realise we'd broken you so badly, M Stone. But wow, that's nice to hear. Yeah, we have debunked space. That's correct. That's correct. We have debunked space. Yes.
It is not what they say it is.
It's the beautiful way that Jedi phrased it. Because you can't keep gas from fucking off without a container.
And 72 space energies. That's a perfect analogy there.
Back to him asserting his religious belief again.
Oh, that didn't last long.
He sounds drunk.
I don't know. I think he's now caught into a passive-aggressive sarcasm spiral.
You think you've debunked space, homie?
Yeah. We use the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy would increase, and the gas would fill the available volume that is presented to it. So while you talk through me, I'll pop you on mute. The gas that we have that is at pressure here on Earth. Pressure means it wants to press. Now, if there's nothing to press upon, now, in your claim to be heliocentric world, it's an open system in a vacuum. There's nothing to press upon. The gas would just rapidly expand to fill the available volume, and we'd have no gas to breathe. The fact that we have gas pressure debunks any notion that the sky is a vacuum. It couldn't possibly be. We wouldn't be breathing. So yes, we have indeed debunked outer space. That's right.
Definitely not what they tell us it is.
Does he even know what the second law of thermodynamics?
What's the second law of thermodynamics?
M Stone. This is. There must be a delay or something. This is.
Yeah, you're roboting, so I think you've got a connection problem. What's the second law of thermodynamics?
Go ahead and connect again.
You want me to reconnect? I think it's your end.
Yeah. It's just you, John. Nobody else is roboting.
QE is coming through loud and clear for me on Discord.
I'll refresh. Right, do you want to try again? Silence.
You roboted a little bit when you said the word try.
Can I get a sound check from anybody in Discord?
Radio check. How do I sound now?
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, working. So, M Stone, what's the second law of thermodynamics?
That would be the law that debunks space.
Right. What is that law?
Why are you asking me?
To see if you... Let me answer him. Let me answer him! Jesus wept!
Debunk space with it. It's obviously the law
why am I
that
asking
debunks
you?
Space.
Do I not get a chance to answer your question? to establish whether or not you understand the debunking we've presented. So what is the second law of thermodynamics?
Let me get this straight. You want me to understand the madness that makes you think you debunked space?
Well, why is it madness?
Seriously.
Well, if you tell us why it's madness, we'll comprehend that you comprehend.
You think you debunked space?
Keep saying that.
You don't see the problem there, the disconnect with reality?
Your reality.
Yes.
Could
yeah, we see
why?
the chocolate, for fuck's sake. Yeah, yes, we see the disconnect between reality and your reality. Yeah, we see that. But we're trying
your
to...
little corner of YouTube. Your little
It's an ad hominem.
corner
Mate,
of YouTube.
you keep reverting to ad hominem while I try and establish why...
No, this isn't an ad hominem.
It's useless conversationalist. Useless. We're trying to
This
establish
is
if
the
you
truth.
understand the debunking.
You have a little bitty corner
Oh
of YouTube
my god.
that believes that
Oh, shut up. I'm trying to establish if you understand the debunking. And all you want to do is talk about me and my little corner on YouTube. That's an ad hominem attack. So we're trying to establish if you understand how and why the second law of thermodynamics debunks space. So therefore we're asking you what the second law of thermodynamics is. And your response is, nonsense that you're asserting. And we're saying, well, what is that nonsense? So we understand if you understand. So far, it seems you don't. You're stupid. Otherwise, you'd just tell us what the second law was. You haven't.
Yes, I'm the stupid one. Because
Yes.
You've debunked space.
Yeah, you've said
Thank
that.
you. I just
We
want to
heard
make
that.
clear, right?
We heard that.
You've debunked
Yeah.
space, and I'm stupid. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's absolutely correct,
That's
Emstone.
right. But you've
Yes,
debunked
thank you.
space, but I'm the stupid one.
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay. That's
Yes.
all, that's all I
You don't need
That's
to
all
keep
I need.
repeating it. Yes. I'll tell you again.
Say
I'll
it one
repeat
more
what
time.
you said.
I debunked
Let's
space.
repeat what he's saying. Yeah. We have debunked space, and you are stupid. Yes, thank you for confirming that.
Hey, dude, man, would you like actually debunk space, man?
So you didn't understand the debunking then, Emstone. That's what we've established with this little diatribe. You know, I'd stick to just knocking people's hats off, mate. You're a retard.
Yes, I know. I'm obviously a retard.
Yes, he knows.
And what are you doing here, buddy?
He's like, yes, I know.
Yeah, pretty
He's
incredible.
in sarcasm, passive-aggressive overdrive mode now, so
You're
he's
the dumb
just
one,
spiraling.
and you've debunked space.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yeah,
You've
thank
debunked
you.
space, and I'm
Yes.
the dumb one.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you. He's stuck in it. Man, I didn't think the Tourette's would get into this groove, but yeah. We've debunked space, you are a retard. That's correct. Thank you for repeating
debunked
it.
space. Way to go,
Yes,
man.
we have,
This
yes.
is fucking awesome. I'm glad I was here.
You debunked space,
to
you're a
witness
retard?
it.
Yo, that's so
I
cool.
didn't know that you had debunked space. I really
Yeah,
didn't
we established that
until
too.
now.
You didn't know that we'd debunked space because you didn't understand the debunking. We got there in the end. We got there in the end. That's brilliant. Yes, you didn't know that we'd debunked it, admirably demonstrating that you didn't understand the debunking. So yeah, that's what we came in with. We had a slightly more complicated proof. That was originally put to you. We were trying to establish if M. Stone understood the Black Swan argument with the horizon not being where it's supposed to be. Yeah? We tried to establish that, but then we went on to your proof, C's, of a globe earth religion you hold, and you didn't understand the debunking. Now, upon that misunderstanding by you, that poor comprehension by you, we are declaring your stupidity and space to be fake. Now, I know that you've got in this record groove where you keep repeating that, and we know you're stupid, and we know space is fake. We also now know that you didn't understand the debunking, like is so often the case. And upon not comprehending our debunking, you've launched into Tourette's mode, and ad hom mode, and talk about YouTube subscribers mode.
Are you a retard or something?
Congrats on your toe tag, brother.
Yeah, this is a toe tag.
I don't know. There's nothing left to toe
Please,
tag.
man, put this video up with
This
toe
guy's
tag
shredded.
and Stone.
So shredded. There's
We
nothing left
debunk
to toe tag.
Space and toe tag Stone. That would be an awesome fucking thumbnail,
Dude,
I
you're
hope I can
as
see
dumb as a freaking rock, buddy.
Yeah, you're stupid, mate. This has demonstrated it quite admirably, but I hope you came here with
And
high
you
hopes.
debunk Space, man.
Not as easy
Fuck.
as knocking a hat off
We've
someone's
done
head, eh?
miracles here.
Yeah, not as easy as knocking a hat off. Hey, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, you should probably wear a hat, man. That bald spot.
It's another ad hominem attack.
Wow, you got him.
Another ad hom.
Keep going, brother.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
So-
what am I gonna say? You debunk Space, man.
We have, yeah. Yeah, it's back in that record
What do
group.
you say to people that think they debunk Space?
What's the other bit?
I mean,
What's the other part? You're stupid.
bro.
Yeah, we
I
know.
can't help you. There's nothing I can show you, man. There's nothing I can tell you.
What's your age, M Stone? How old are you?
What's your age?
Yeah,
How
what
many
is your
times
age?
do you dye your hair black? You
What's
little
your
bastard?
age, my precious? What's your age, my precious? Arwickin, what's your age, my precious?
The Matrix? Where do I get a Matrix coat like that?
I don't,
you
I
can
don't want
get
to
it on any
tolerate
free
this.
market. It's not
Sorry,
that expensive.
sorry, Arwin. This is just ad hom after ad hom.
But I just want to know how old this guy is.
What are you supposed to do? The guys that think they debunk Space, man. I mean, fuck.
Can you please tell
I
us
can't shove
what
you
the
in a
second law of
locker.
thermodynamics is, please?
Doesn't know it.
That
Blatantly
would be
obvious.
the law where you debunk Space.
That's not the second law of
That's what it's gonna
thermodynamics.
be known as
Can
now,
you tell us
since you
what the
debunked
second law
space
of
with-
thermodynamics is? Let me say it again. I said it about 20 minutes ago. Just simply define the second law of thermodynamics.
I'll say it again, man. It's magical because it debunks space.
So the second law of thermodynamics definition is it's magical. That's your answer? Final answer?
He has no argument, obviously.
We've already debunked space.
I didn't
man. How
ask you
much
that.
further-
I didn't ask you that, M. Stone. I'll ask it again. Please define the second law of thermodynamics.
That would be the law that debunks space.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah, we're done. Toe tag him, bag him, kick him to the curb. That was fun. Nice to meet M. Stone.
Yep.
So this is the guy that knocked Nathan Thompson's hat off.
Oh, right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same guy.
Oh, how old would you think he is?
So if you were,
Oh,
if
he
you
sounded
were,
like a real dick.
yeah, if you were in his company, he'd resort to knocking bits of clothes off you if you lost the argument. That's the kind of person we're dealing with.
Somebody arguing with fists.
Well, I wouldn't say that. He knocked off a hat, but you know, something that's going to get someone's goat rather than addressing an argument. Same principle applies verbally when you use an ad hominem attack.
Right. But he wants people that do that because they want you to come after them. Because they want to stop the talking and start the fist fighting.
Yeah,
So
it's much
that is
easier
tight.
to ad hom or fight with fists and knock hats off, if we're going to be more accurate, than it is to actually attack the argument or even comprehend the argument. You know, this is the base level of stupidity that, you know, it's been put as 40%, even though I think it's 37.2% of statistics are made up on the spot. Nevertheless, about 40% of them will never get the argument, and he's one of them. That's why he resorts to knocking people's hats off and ad homing people, because he hasn't got an argument and doesn't understand the rebuttal.
Even the most naive of
Say
flat
what you
earthers
want.
that I've heard.
Again,
Even the
Brian.
most naive of.
I don't know, he must be so in love with space, he must think he's a meteorite or something. You know? Stone coming from space. So it must exist, because otherwise nothing makes sense to him.
Just before he came on, it was predicted that the ballers wouldn't even understand the argument.
Yeah, that's why this is. That's why this is a toe tag.
And then he interrupted me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that was it.
Yeah, then he interrupted me when I was giving the argument specifically. I even had more or less of a drum roll for the baltards to understand the argument. Then he interrupted me. Then I stopped. And then I repeated the argument very slowly. And then he said, "What's the argument?"
When he came back on, I was thinking about asking you to post the picture and explain the argument again to him, but I knew it would just spiral.
Right.
When the guy was starting to get all sarcastic and everything, that's, yeah, when people get like that, they're no longer open for real discussion. So, and he got there halfway. It's just,
he thinks he's toe tagging Nathan. That's the stupid part.
No, he doesn't think that. He's just trying to fend off the panic, because apparently it never even occurred to him that potentially some groups of people that are heavily relied upon in the world could lie about something that big, and it shocked him to his core, and he's gone into solipsism mode, getting all sarcastic. It's the first sign. So it never occurred to him. I'll bet.
Even the most naive of flat earthers that I've heard over the past 5 years are miles ahead of that guy. So even though some of them might say stuff that is like cringy on our side, they're way ahead of him.
I wouldn't even say this is the first sign of panic. Why would you, if you believe so hard in your 72 space agencies, why would you show up to a flat Earth convention, try to knock a hat off a flat earther? I mean, what is your purpose? What are you accomplishing with that?
Is that the guy?
Maybe he wants to defend his heroes. You know?
I mean, say what you want about the argument. Touch my hat in real life. That's a different story, bro. But why would you do that? What's wrong with you?
I think a lot of these ballers like him, they just want to come in to Nathan's show just one time, cause a ruckus, and most of them just want to come in there for less than 2 minutes and then say, "Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?" Call it Nathan stupid and leave, and then go on to other shows like other baller shows and say, "I was on Nathan Oakley's. They had nothing to show me." Blah blah blah. They just want to do that much. They don't actually want to come in and engage. They never do. They just want to come in and give it 2 minutes of saying, "Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?" Not listening to anything, calling Nathan stupid and leaving. It's just kind of like a rite of passage for him. You know, that's all they. But this guy stayed too long.
You got a good point. There's plenty of people out there that want to be the expert on the baller shows, that can say, "Yeah, I went there and completely debunked it," because they know that their audience is probably not really going to try to look up that specific episode or anything, and they're not going to show anything about it. So, hey, if people just pop by, then they can say they were here, and then they can just bullshit about whatever they want. And yeah, trying to encapsulate this show, trying to bypass it, trying to have something to say about it without making people check it out. It's not going to work, though, because, you know, this show is just a phenomena by itself.
Yeah,
Does M Stone have? Hold on a second. Hold on. Does M Stone have a channel?
You think? I don't think he actually knows how to work on YouTube.
1 second. Relax, Arwen. Relax. I'm not done with my point yet. Relax. He said he's recording this, right? If he has a channel, Nathan, if he puts this out on his channel, because this is your show, is there a problem here?
Yeah, there could be a problem. I probably wouldn't care.
Okay.
He does have a channel. I'm looking at it.
He recorded his own toe tag. So what?
He's probably going to try to edit it all out of context. Pretty sure about it.
7 videos.
Did anybody get him to define space? Over?
I think
He
his
didn't
argument
define
was pretty
anything
much
in the entire time he was here.
It's space. That's the background pictures of all the sci-fi movies and all. That's
The Final
space.
Frontier.
Yeah, that one, and all the other series, and spaceships and rockets, and it's beautiful. Look at all the nebulas and the.
Sorry, should I be
black
showing
holes.
something, Arwin? I haven't got you on screen, should I?
Sorry?
You want me to present? You need to say. Oh, no. Okay, I've misconfused. My bad.
No, I was just blabbering on about what space is according to this guy, probably, and a lot of people that haven't really looked into the physics side that are tied into it, as we have, and come to the conclusion that it's physically impossible. So people will just associate space, the concept of some kind of vacuum or something, with those background pictures in the sci-fi series. That's exactly what
He
it is.
also specifically said he believes in the moon landings. So some people do not want their moon landings taken away from them. So I can kind of understand how you might be a little personal about it. It sucks for you and everybody that still believes that shit, but yeah.
Is Anthony still here? No. Bummer.
No, I don't see him.
Well, I'll say what I was going to say anyway, even though he's not here. Hopefully he doesn't feel like I've excluded him from something that involves him. So, Max Egan has just come to Flat Earth, right? And I don't know if anybody's listened to his video declaring his Flat Earth understanding. But he also talks, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a lot of shite. Now, given that yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Max Egan technically wasn't a flat earther, but was presumably still, if that video is anything to go by, talking quite a lot of shite. And it was absolutely inconsequential to me. Now, the question I've got for you guys, and I was going to specifically put it to Anthony, because then I was going to relate it back to Bob. Bob Nodell, that is specifically Bob Nodell. Now that he is a bona fide flat earther, made his declarations, does it actually matter if he's making his opinions and feelings about his download that he had from the alignment or whatever else he spoke about? Does that really matter?
Well, technically, no. The side issue.
Nothing to do with anything.
It doesn't change the truth. It just
The only thing
changes
that-
the perceptions.
Does it matter
only-
how he
the
came
only
to
thing
the arrival of the conclusion, or does it just matter that he came to the conclusion?
The only thing matters is that his crazy ideas are muddying the water because he has a big subscriber base. That's the only thing that does matter.
That was quick. What I was waiting for was someone to say something along the lines of muddying the waters. Now, I don't know if you can see where I'm going with this already, but if someone like Max Egan recognises the obvious and observable nature of reality, that's just one thing he specifically talked about in that video, then that's one thing that we would say, well, I would align with Max Egan on that particular point. And only that particular point, based on that video. Nevertheless, beyond that, does it matter what his beliefs are about gravity, for example?
No. But who knows where he will
Yes,
go with that?
it does.
Okay,
It
I'd
does
rather...
matter.
Sorry, Arwin, I'd rather hear Brian. Go on, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, Brian.
It does matter because Nathan, because he's got a big subscriber base and a lot of people listen to him. And if he starts waffling on with a load of nonsense, that's dangerous. Because if he's waffling on about gravity and all the rest of it, and he believes in it and all the rest of it, then he's swaying people to an ideal that is not true. And Bob Nodell obviously has the same beliefs, and them kind of beliefs are dangerous.
Hey, I used to champion gravity for like a pretty substantial time. And I'm okay. You know, sometimes it takes time for each subject to sink through. Okay,
Sure
so
does.
if Flat Earth is now to the forefront, who knows where he'll go next? You don't know yet. You don't know. could get all silly and even more crazy, or he could actually just step by step kind of start to get it. You don't know.
But if he does or he
I
doesn't...
left a link on his...
Sorry, let me just add this again. I did say it already, but... So, yesterday... day before yesterday, he was saying the same things to the same audience. Today, he's saying the Earth is flat, and the same things to the same audience. So, other than it being a plus, what does it matter?
I don't know. The concept.
It's a plus for him, but it's a minus for us.
No, why?
Because he's not an addition.
Is he going to take away flat earther audience? Or is he going to confront his audience that he already has with it?
It doesn't matter. I put it this
Arwen,
way. I
why
got banned off his channel.
Arwen, can you let him respond? I mean,
Thanks,
you
John.
stop at the end of a sentence, wait 3 seconds, he goes to respond, you start talking again.
I wasn't finished yet. Sorry.
Just do it constantly. He's been trying to... I can't even hear him. For fuck's sake.
I personally got banned off his channel for calling him out about flat earth about 2 or 3 years ago. I got allowed back on, but he banned me off his channel. I know I subscribed to him. He's dangerous because he has a lot of crazy ideas, and now he's mixing flat earth in with it. He's dangerous because he has ridiculous ideas that no one can believe in, and he's more interested in what governments are doing, and instead of cutting the head off the snake, he's more interested in the minutiae and the nonsense and the conspiracy.
Do you have any specific example about what is really extremely ridiculous and
No. I'll take that as read. No, that's fine. Yeah. I'll agree with that. No worries. But why does that become nothing but a plus if he's just exposing his audience, who are all individuals and capable of free thought, to a subject that they may not have been exposed to before? If they were already sold on some of the concepts and ideas he's putting over, another concept that they might now look into, to me, just seems like a plus. Now, before you respond, my idea was to then, because this is how my line of thought has been, well, if that's the logic for me, for Max, doesn't the same exact logic apply to someone like Bob when it comes to gravity? Now, I'm saying that because I wanted Anthony to say that, because it's not me doing that. But you know what I mean? Anthony's not here. I've got to do it for him. But you don't agree. So that's why I want to hear Brighton.
I'm with you.
What I would say about Max Egan is that his time to come into flat earth was a couple of years ago, when there was a lot more people who were conspiratorial and ideas were a lot more up in the air. Now flat earth is about what can be proven for definite and what can't be proven. And he's dangerous again for the reason that he's not interested in what can and can't be proven, because he's going to waffle on with conspiracy nonsense all day long, right? That he can't prove about this thing and that thing. He talked about the 33-degree parallel yesterday, and he went on about nonsense with it. And I sent him a link that showed him that where he thought the 33-degree parallel was actually wrong. Now, what I'm showing him is just something that he doesn't know. And it doesn't matter the flat earth. Really, it doesn't matter what I showed him. But he'll never watch that. He'll just keep waffling on with his nonsense about what he thought was going to happen about the 33-degree parallel. He tried to say that everybody above and below the 33-degree parallels are going to die because of an ice flood or some nonsense. So you don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a detriment to him, not to us.
That's my point, Arwen. I agree with you, and you agree with me. So, but I obviously I don't agree with you, Brian, but I'm still intrigued because it's based on his influence. Now, I could spin this two ways. I could spin it that, over 100,000 people, I'd say you'd be pretty much famous. You know, you've got a substantial number of people following you. Or I could spin it the other way and go, 200,000 people's nothing. It's just nothing. Nobody knows who Max Egan is. It makes no difference. But, either way I could spin it. It doesn't change the fact that, to me, it doesn't really make any difference. I don't need to go after Max Egan. Now, I'll clarify this so I don't have to deal with it in the comments. The way I perceived it when Bob was on Netflix
was that it did have a massive influence because I was feeling it from all the comments of people saying Bob had proven something with science. So that, for me, was something directly affecting me. But I just don't feel that there's ever going to be any consequence. Even with audiences that are intermingled between us and Globebusters, we've got a symbiotic relationship in terms of our audiences. But does that mean that somehow his thoughts, Bob I'm talking about now, in regards to gravity are of any detriment to me? I don't think so. Now I've thought about Max Egan. So I only see it as positive, regardless of how nonsensical some of his musings are.
Well, all I'd say about that is I hope it is positive, and I hope you're correct. I'm not arguing with you about it, as in, I can't see the future. So I can only say it as I see it today. And your view of it might be better than mine, and time will tell.
Nathan, I think when you refer to us or here, we have already said we're going to identify the scientific method properly and call out anyone who says they're doing science with, okay, what's your hypothesis? What's the dependent variable, et cetera, et cetera. So then when some other show or shows or individuals say, oh, I'm a flat earther now, and then they go off that method of the scientific method being narrow and using that for proof or null, that's where the problem is. So Bob did that. You called him out on it. Now, I don't know who Max Egan is. I mean, I don't even know what at the beginning of your description of him meant, where he got some message from something. I have no idea who this guy is. I've heard of him, but I've never really followed or know things about him. But if he's a flat earther now, and then he starts accepting stuff that's not science, true science, but pseudoscience, yeah, it's going to have an effect, just like Bob had an effect.
What I would say about it is that he has a big enough subscriber base to drown out people with smaller subscriber bases who are actually speaking a lot more truth and fact. And he can make decisions that this and that is true, and the flat earth is this and the flat earth is that, and gravity is real if he wants that. And he has a bigger subscriber base to drown out. I'm not saying it will drown it out indefinitely, it won't, because the truth will always find its way. But it will possibly, if he starts that carry on, it will possibly create obstacles more so in the future. But I hope I'm wrong. I do.
I think there's more crazy people than Max Egan that were making flat Earth videos before this ever came along.
Yeah, I think Brian said that he spoke to that earlier when he said he would have been better off 2 years ago when the nonsense was a bit more rife in this subject, whereas now we're at the point where we, specifically us, this little band of merry men we have here right now, are asking for scientific empiricism. So the timing's bad, according to Brian.
Well, not really.
I hate that's the only time that it would start. Like, I would think it's having any effect on me. Like I said, I don't care if somebody wants to believe in gravity until they try to assert to me that it is real. Then I'm gonna need all the science you got for that. But until you got that, you're just talking. That's all it is to me.
All right, I'm gonna hate myself for this. I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Maybe many of the panel members in the audience don't know who Max Egan is, because I don't know who he is. Can somebody just give a brief synopsis on who the gentleman is?
I really don't either.
Channel name is The Crow House. For anybody who was around a couple of years ago, he went on Globebusters, so this is something that you may be able to recall. He went on Globebusters and discussed his compass reading when he was flying from Australia to South Africa. Jesus, I can't even remember where the flight was from now. One that they claimed wasn't possible on an azimuthal equidistant projection, and he showed his compass moving in a direction that wasn't matched by the direction claimed on the map on the back of his headrest. So that's what Max Egan's involvement so far. was to debate vehemently against the idea of a flat Earth on Globebusters. So he was absolutely in the opposing view and arguing the toss based on maps and models.
Nathan.
There you go.
Nathan, may I for
Thanks.
a moment? Are you
Yeah, go
still
ahead.
recording?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, my wife's gone out. She's gone on a shopping spree, so I'm
All right.
still recording.
Just
4 more hours.
Fantastic show, man. I'm really jealous. I kind of wanted to take it over. Was that good? But yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, the gods are smiling. The bootleggers are away. Shout out to Ranty Flat
Earth. Shout out retracted.
No,
go on,
Armin.
I want to address what Chocolate said as well, and I'm not disagreeing with him, but in a way, it doesn't matter because, say tomorrow another group arises that says they believe in flat Earth and go off a little bit. This show's still this show, and we hold each other accountable, and so it doesn't matter because we're going to address it. So whoever wants to come on the flat Earth side, yeah, you're welcome. But if you bring some crazy stuff, we're going to address it. That's all.
Well said.
Yeah,
Go on, Brian.
my last thing, the last thing I want to say on it, not to try and beat it into the ground, is that I think someone needs to have a conversation with him and show him what's real and what's not, as far as flat Earth goes. Whether he'll have that conversation or not, I don't know, because he'll probably end up on Globebusters again. So that won't be the conversation he needs. That's what I'm saying.
Well, is he like John said? He doesn't. I don't really know too much about this guy, right? But like you say, he's got a lot of followers. So, I mean, I don't know what he's got going for him, but he's got to be somewhat smart, right? I mean, to an extent, to have all these subscribers for whatever it is that he's talking about. So maybe him coming to Flat Earth will be what sparks him to realize the other things that he's into. Maybe there's not so much evidence to back that stuff. You know what I mean? This might be that point that he's like, okay, obviously if this is true, then other things might not make too much sense. I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking, do people that do follow him think that he might be able to get to that point, or it's just going to be he's a flat earther, but he believes in all this other shit?
Only one.
I don't know.
There's only one way to find out, and that is time. You will see.
Does anybody know
I
what
mean,
pushed him over the edge?
Is he a government guy? Like, what is his claim to fame? What is he into?
Well, he has been on kind of mainstream television stuff. So
you know, these shootings and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know what he
false
said.
flags and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's very conspiratorial. The Chinese are doing this, the Americans are doing that. This is happening, that's happening. That may not be exactly verbatim, but it's all along those lines. And he's controversial, so he allowed an outlet for people who were conspiratorial, or let's just say who didn't trust their government and stuff, but didn't have to be flattered. So he's one of these people who allows a base for people who have conspiracies but don't believe flat Earth or are scared of it. But now he's flat Earth.
All right,
so,
I get you. Yeah.
Truth.
Does anybody know what pushed him over the edge? Like, what caused it? What was the trigger point?
Well, going by his comments, it seems like most of them thought he was already over the edge anyway, just hadn't admitted it.
Did he speak about cosmology before this? I'm sorry, no. Go ahead.
There was something on his YouTube. No worries. Something on his YouTube channel talking about how he was downloaded information, like the Matrix or something, and he can't talk about it. It's overwhelming. Yada yada. Just being a little melodramatic.
Zoe, you're causing feedback.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I'll just turn it down, I guess.
Wow, haven't heard that voice in a long time.
No, I haven't been on in a long time. But yeah, I actually know Max Egan very well, or not personally, but I've followed him since 2008, and he knows pretty much everything. I mean, about what goes on in the world and all the yeah. I mean, it's hard to to say what it is he knows. He knows everything.
He knows everything. Really?
Well, about all the corruption and all the lies and just
It took him this
has
long to figure out the
taken on
Earth was
almost
flat. Then
every subject
Hold on.
there is in the quote unquote conspiracy world.
He knows we're being lied to on a massive level.
Yes, he does, and he has known this for many years. And he has helped so many people because the way he has approached it has been not of, I mean, of course, everybody gets pissed off, really angry when they first find out all the lies, and people can get frustrated and depressed, and but his way of approaching it has helped lots of people because he's not focusing on the anger and the frustration. He's focusing on, well, it's like more of a non-compliance approach. Just don't go along with it. Instead of just getting like if you stand in front of Parliament, waving your fist at the Parliament, that's just telling Parliament that you're powerless. Don't go don't get all up in arms about things. You can approach things in a different manner and it'll have a much bigger impact. So that's why so many who were following him that found out that the Earth was flat, that they was like, Max, what the fuck? Well, sorry, my swearing. Why aren't you seeing this? Because he was seeing everything else. And so it was really a disappointment for a lot of flat earthers who knew about him or followed him, because we all saw that it was obvious and we couldn't understand why he didn't. So I mean, the people who know Max Egan, myself included, we were just totally elated, and I actually shed a couple of tears because I was just so happy that he finally acknowledged it. But I mean, the video he put out yesterday, it was some other things. I mean, it just was very out of character for him. Some of the things he was saying, and got kind of worried actually.
Oh, okay. Now that's encouraging because I'm only going on what I know from Max is him appearing on Globebusters and that video. And from that video, I was like, "This guy's a crazy person."
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's
it's part of the problem is that he's trying to talk about things that there's no way we can have any kind of truth about, because we're dealing with tech that's beyond our grasp, and we have to kind of guess in a way because we don't have enough information yet. We do know that things are happening that are beyond our scope, if that makes sense.
I was just informed that Max Egan is a member of this server.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
I don't know which name he's under, but I was just informed he is a member of the server. So
yeah, I know that Martin Lieke, he knows him personally. And I think he's going to come on. He might come on Martin's channel. I'm not sure, because Max has such a huge following, and not only on YouTube. I mean, he goes on Press TV and all other sorts of news agencies that come out to a broader audience, and he gets asked, and consulted on bigger, like what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on there. He's invited to interviewed on these news agencies.
Right.
I think
Which is probably why that's probably why he was not coming out with this info for as long as he has, because
Definitely.
as soon as you do, they're not going to get invited to go on TV.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't know for
I mean,
sure.
the whole what?
You don't know for sure though. It all depends on if you plan to talk about it on those news shows. Yeah, then they'll not like you. But hey, whatever you do with your own show, yeah, if he'd be talking about it constantly, yeah, that might be an issue. But just it doesn't have to be an influence.
Well, it's
Sure.
because
Well, yeah, but once you drop that, how do you not talk
point that
about anything
has
else?
credit. You know?
Hold on. Go on, Zoe.
Well, that would be because if they find out that he's suddenly become a flat earther and all the other things he was talking about, they will discredit him. That will discredit him in their eyes, and then they might not invite him on again.
But there was loads of stuff in his video that would also discredit him. So is it like
yes,
an
exactly,
airing
that's
of
what I
his closet in terms of things that he thinks might be damaging, get it all out at once? Because he talked about machines out at sea creating all weather. He talked about us being trapped here with what he intimated were vampires.
Yeah.
Sounds.
I mean, there's no doubt that the weather is being manipulated, but it almost sounded like he thought that it had always been like that, forever.
Well,
that it wasn't just a new modern, quote unquote new.
I'm not
necessarily
questioning the validity of him claiming geoengineering. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
No,
is
no.
the way he threw it out there, upon asserting that we're in an enclosed system, and all the weather is controlled by machines out at sea. The way he threw it out there is like, okay, one of those things is certainly true. We have gas pressure. The other thing you've just thrown out there. So why do it in that manner is all I'm questioning.
That's what I mean by it being completely out of character, because he is usually a very level-headed person.
Yeah, that's true.
Very intelligent man.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
But this is
maybe he's still in the in the sleepless period, and he's just like it just overcame him. Maybe that's why he's off. That happens. Remember, guys, when we first really sunk in? Yeah, sleepless nights, and you get confused.
Yeah, it might be too much input. Like Johnny 5 needs input.
Well, that's exactly the point. That realizing that this is not a ball, and whatever this realm is now the beginning of the topic of conversation, not the end. Just figuring it out that it's flat. Okay, cool. Now what do we talk about? So what is any of this, and how do we? I mean, if there is tech that can turn metal into dust and we can do all kinds of stuff, then the way we currently think we know about physics is out the window. Like there's all kinds of things that we think we know, and it might be just gatekept. There obviously is there something more out there. It's hard to talk about because we can't talk about it with any validity because it's out of our grasp.
Yeah.
Watch the Flat Earth.
That's why I asked that question before about him, right? And it makes me feel better that I think it's Zoe that said that it sounds weird for him to say the things that he said, because like I'm trying to say maybe coming to Flat Earth will be that snap that makes him regroup and assess all the other things that he's talking about, because all those other things now are taking place on a flat Earth, right?
Like I used
exactly.
to
This is now the beginning of a whole new conversation.
Yep.
Some people who are believing that ancient alien shit, the Anunnaki stuff, as soon as you go flat Earth, then that whole thing goes out the window.
Yeah, I had to reset all of that. All of that had to go.
All of those Roswell books I read, every single one of them.
I don't know.
What I would say about sorry, Armin, don't go ahead. I'll talk after.
I'm just saying that, like, even upon realization of flat Earth, whatever we think out there of aliens, it's just a displacement, basically. It's just like, okay, it's not in planets out there, but hey, there could be more land, there could be other places where other beings could be, because all of our history also turns out to be heliocentrified. and things kept out. So yeah, there could be all kinds of things out there, and maybe these aliens are just the heliocentric cover story for something that's already been out there that they're planning to confront us with now, that they foresee coming, or whatever, how you're going to approach it. You don't know.
Oh God, why are we suddenly in this nonsense realm of speculation? Fuzzy,
Max Egan!
No, but I'm just saying Fuzzy
But
summarised it
that's
already.
the problem. We have to speculate because it's... How else do you talk about it without speculation? Because it's beyond what we think we know or what we've been told to know. It's beyond anything.
Could I ask something to that lady? Is it Zoe, the girl that's there? If she can hear
Excuse me?
Yeah, my name's
Yes, her
Brian.
name's Zoe.
Yes, I'm Zoe.
Hello, Zoe. The problem I have from what I heard yesterday, I only listened to maybe about half or just over half of the video from your man Max Eugen, is that Max Eugen has no idea of the importance of flat Earth, because he spent most of that video talking about everything else but flat Earth. He just threw out there he was a flat earther, and then it was talking about everything else, all this other nonsense he was putting out there, and he was wrong about even silly small little things that would even be the premise of his conspiracy. And it's just like, he doesn't understand about cutting the head off the snake. Forget all the other nonsense that you don't know, you can't prove. Stick to what you can prove. Cut the head off the snake. He has to do that, otherwise he's only muddying the water.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. But well, also the thing about that he was the one, and I don't know if he meant that literally. I mean, that was kind of really threw me off. It was like, what's going on in your head, Max? You know, it's like, you know,
You said the one?
almost like a breakdown or something that just makes you think all sorts of weird stuff. On top of, you know, you find out that the Earth is flat, and then I don't know, just like it went click. I don't know.
Well, you can't get sudden mania upon such heavy realizations, you know?
Wait, did you say that he said he was the one?
I only listened to it once, and I just...
As in the Matrix, right? Because I just went to his YouTube, like it's called Surviving the Matrix. So
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
and he's got
it was just off.
204,000 subscribers.
Yes, he thinks he's the one. Correct.
What? Have you never realized you were the one?
Interesting.
We're all the one.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
a spiritual realization. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, I think he did say that, actually, didn't he?
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
I don't know if he said that, but that's how I say it.
Nathan, did you guys do the Matrix show already?
Well, have you seen?
I was just gonna say we need to do that. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I thought we had.
Yeah, and the housekeeping questions.
Yeah, we got stuff to do, but it's Black Swan and stuff, you know, just destroying this globe all over the place. So we've been distracted.
See,
I mean, I think it's just the beginning for him, because he's now come out public that he's a flat earther. That it's just at the beginning for him, and he has to. Hopefully, he will come on other flat earthers shows and talk to other flat earthers who aren't into all sorts of speculation, but into what we can actually prove.
Well,
yeah.
If
he needs to
Well, I
do
wish
that.
him luck.
Sorry, if he's such a studied up person, and yeah, he has a wide view on the world with all kinds of ideas, then I think it's more likely that he'll probably be sitting for a while and just observing, watching the right shows, like the Flat Earth debates, for example, and just looking around what's there to figure it all out in his own mind, because he is probably smart enough to figure out such things. Just takes some time. It's a lot of data, a lot of new approaches, new angles where you've never even looked ever. So yeah, that takes, and then maybe eventually he'll start interacting and like trying to get on the scene. I think that's my divination of what he was going to do.
Hey, Chocolate,
Yeah,
we can't have two number ones, right? Keanu Reeves is going to have to ask him for a challenge match to see who's number one.
Yep.
I mean, if it's already been on, since he's already been on Globebusters once, you know, it's likely that he will do it again. You know, and, hey guys.
I mean, if you say that there are, if you say there are a lot of flat earthers who followed him, right, and have been kind of waiting for him to kind of make this realization, well, maybe that'll help him out, because I'm sure like his followers will, you know, really try to, I don't know, just try to coach him into how to think about this. Maybe he'll get his help from the audience that he has, you know.
Yeah.
He's got a lot, apparently. So.
Yeah. There was some nasty comments in his after that video for him. That was,
Oh yeah,
you know,
he's probably gonna lose
I've
some.
lost all respect for you. And,
Yeah. He's gonna go like the same way with the same thing that happened with Owen Benjamin when he lost a bunch, because you know some people just won't ever deal with it at all.
No.
And that, I think everybody's got to come to that realization that there are some people that flat Earth will never, ever, ever make any sense, be of any relevance. It'll always be a magical spinning water ball in a vacuum to them, and that's just the way it is. For some,
can I change up the conversation?
Go for it.
Can I change up the conversation off of Max Egan?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna get out.
Unorthodox 50 in chat. He's also in voice chat here. You made a claim that you were laughing at people that believe in creationism. You're not a creationist. B50 Unorthodox Clown Show. Hello, essay. You're not a creationist. Even the pseudoscience priests that you follow know that there was a creation. What the hell are you talking about, sir? Essay.
I think he's probably gone.
Kiwi, if he's not going to answer, I have a quick question for you. I don't know if it's quick, but
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Nathan, I abruptly ended that Max Egan. Is that okay, or do you still want to go on?
That's fine. Give me another 30 seconds, see if we can get a response out of Unorthodox. Then, if not, can you just tell us what the first law of thermodynamics is and the reason I'm asking that question, and then we can move on to whatever, or I'll end the show, one or the other.
No 4 more hours?
We're into hour 4 right now. 4 more hours.
I didn't hear you. Somebody screamed.
Yeah, it was Zoe. She said 4 more hours.
I was always saying 4 more hours.
Yep. Go ahead. Unorthodox, we're going to wait. We like the silence. You sure are a big bad boy in chat. Right? What they call a keyboard warrior. Right? Tell us how creationism is funny.
Probably in the same way the guy before thought it was ludicrous and funny that we believed we had disproven space. I think in a similar fashion.
Last call, Unorthodox. Can you hear us?
I don't think he wants to be toe tagged again. I got a playlist toe tag with him on it. I don't think he wants another one. I guess that's the reason.
Okay. So my question is, first of all, go on.
No, I don't want to. I mean, go ahead if you want. I just had a question about from QE specifically what he might think about something. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, what's the first law of thermodynamics? Given that we have natural laws that apply to nature, what's the first law, QE?
The first law of thermodynamics: the total amount of matter or energy in the universe is constant. In other words, nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter energy. It can only change form.
So a natural law is that energy cannot be created. Correct?
Yes.
So, do we have matter and energy?
Yes.
So, given that it cannot be created by nature, and we do have it, that, correct me if I'm wrong, leaves us with only one option to explain how we have matter, given that it couldn't have been created by nature. Correct?
Correct.
And what would that one singular option, given that nature can't create energy and matter, what would the only option remaining be?
The only option remaining, the second ontological primitive, is God, the creator. Thank you.
You know, and can I say something real quick regarding that?
Before you do, Paul, there was a chap in Discord that wanted to add something or a question for QE, but then yes, whoever it was in Discord, go ahead.
Yeah. So no, this is kind of, I don't know if it's related or not, but matter cannot be created or all this stuff. I get it. And the creator, I'm as a born again atheist all my life. I've never been more close to the whole creator. I get it. But given that there is, I don't know, there's some sort of tech out there that we're not privy to, does that change what we think we know about? Does that change other laws, or is there something beyond these laws, or something else is out there that we're not being told? It's something's being gate kept from us. Does that make sense? I mean, like, how does this change what we think we know about these laws, or does it add laws? Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't. That's an argument from ignorance.
But no, but there's obvious evidence of it happening out there.
Given out there's a machine that's violating this natural law, would you not agree that that proves that this natural law can be violated? No, that's an argument from ignorance.
Or I'm saying, what if the law is not totally complete? What if what they told us is a law is not fully articulated?
Excellent.
Well, we're not just following them. We experience these laws every single day. It's not like it's coming from an oracle or a sage that's telling us this. We experience the laws of thermodynamics every single day.
Okay, no, you're right. True, I hear you. What about this matter cannot be created or destroyed, or can it be transmuted? Can it be changed in some way that we're not privy to? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where you have the second law.
Yeah, he did say it can't be created or destroyed, but it can only change form. You did say that, right, Kira?
Yes, I did say that.
Okay, no, I guess that makes more sense. But they just have some sort of tech that can change things that we're not privy to.
Who are they?
I hear you. The you know, come on.
Max Egan, they that Max Egan attributed these things to, those machines. Is that what you're talking
The same day that are lying to us about everything.
Hold on, you said those machines. Who created those machines?
No doubt, I hear you, but I'm just saying there might. Okay, yeah, fair point. I hear you. They just found a way to change in a way that we're not. I get it. I hear you.
Okay.
The point is, nature's not creating anything, so you must have something outside.
Oh, sure. I'm just
of those natural laws.
Yeah.
To have the stuff that we definitely do have, ergo creator. It's just that simple.
It is really just that simple, Nathan. Thank you. Paul had something to add.
Go ahead, Paul.
It's just funny that he's so-called, I didn't read what Unorthodox said, but why is it funny that an intelligent agency of any kind is funny? Because when you're doing an investigation for anything, you've got to rule out natural means or an intelligent agency. So why is it funny to say that the creator or the beginning of the universe is an intelligent agency? I don't get that.
Where did you even get the intelligence to come to the conclusion that it is funny?
Well, that's another.
You boys are getting it.
That's another.
Yeah, chocolate sharp, eh?
As
when he's sleeping.
would say,
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on, let's at least give an Orthodox chance to reply to you, Paul. Moving on.
How about those Black Swan?
Can I speak to that first and second law? Natural decay. I'm sure that doesn't contradict. I'm sure that's been encapsulated into the laws, right? It has to have been.
Yeah.
Second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth.
Second law of thermodynamics.
Yep. So it goes from the first to the second law then? Over?
Yeah, second law speaks to decay. Yes. Ironically, the bondage of decay spoken about in Scripture. Just coincidence, though.
Really? Go on. Tell me more.
Amen.
The bondage of decay.
I think we went over this. I think we went over this before. It's called the bondage of decay. It's a concept. If you read Paul, he speaks to this and about how that bondage will end with the new heavens and the new earth.
Just to be clear, it's not me he's talking about. Just to be clear.
No, I realised he was talking Book of Paul, but no, it doesn't ring any bells. I'm sure you have told me about this, but maybe it was just once, but it certainly isn't ringing any bells.
Yeah, we talked about Genesis and second laws of thermodynamics are stated essentially in Genesis chapter 2. I think it's 2:1 when he was finished with all his work, and that was it. So there's your first law of thermodynamics, nothing that can be created or destroyed. And then after the fall, not the season, the fall, sin, that's when the second law of thermodynamics took hold. That from dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. Good?
I'm going to need that 10 more times.
I understand it.
I concur with that. maybe one more time.
From matter to matter.
Well,
Can I say that it also speaks to mankind being now subjugated to decay?
Mankind and all of creation. If you read Paul in Romans, he talks about not only man, but all of creation moans from the beginning. But that will end with the new heavens and the new earth. That means the first and second laws of thermodynamics, or the laws of thermodynamics, will be gone forever.
Yes, I could see that because there was no death until the fall.
Not the season.
Correct. And on the note that I want to make a statement on, this is why the miracles of the Bible cannot be allegorized, because it goes against nature. A miracle is not natural. It does go against nature. And as described, first and second, the only person that could step in and go against the natural law is the Creator himself. And that's why Jesus set them up when he said, your sins are forgiven you. And they all got on him saying, who are you to tell this man his sins are forgiven? What, you claim to be God? And Jesus said, what's easier, to say your sins are forgiven you, or rise up, pick up your bed and walk? Break natural law. And guess what he did?
I could read that passage if you want me to. It's Genesis 3.
Don't leave it rhetorical. Hold on. What did he do?
The man
What did
rose
who do?
up and walked.
Thank you.
So
Lazarus.
Sorry, Kiwi. Go ahead.
Sorry, I interrupted something.
Yeah, the conclusion.
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Tenth. Could you say
He did.
it again,
He
please?
did. He got up and walked.
He said it. I just wanted him to say it, not me. Go ahead, Cutie.
Well, I would say this. Anyone could say your sins are forgiven you. How do you prove it?
How do we know it wasn't a magic trick?
The eyewitness testimony of the person who everyone knew could not walk. We know it's not a magic trick, Anon. And last time we talked, you went berserk, so.
David Copperfield does all of his magic in front of an audience.
Yeah, we're not talking magic. We're talking violation of natural law here, Anon. And by the way, after you blasphemed twice, I'm through talking to you.
Okay, but David Copperfield flew in
There's a difference between magic and a miracle. There's a difference between magic and a miracle.
Can David Copperfield create matter or energy?
No, we can't.
We're talking about having
Thank
somebody
you.
walk.
There
after
goes
he's
your
dead.
argument. There goes your argument, Ken Wheeler.
Raising people from
Okay.
the dead. I saw David.
There
Copperfield
goes your
bring a pigeon back to
argument,
life.
Ken Wheeler.
Okay.
David.
Old
David
business first.
Copperfield.
Old business. So, I've seen this going through the chat yesterday on Ranty's show with you and on, and you didn't address me then. You probably won't address me now. Have you looked into how wavelengths are derived?
I'm not talking about wavelengths or collapsing of the wave function. I'm just talking about regular wave patterns, interference pattern that I am able to create with a razor and a laser on my wall. Didn't
Here
use a
we go
calculator.
again.
Didn't use maths. Didn't use anything. I see wave diffraction pattern on my wall.
Wave diffraction pattern. But you just said you weren't going to talk about wave
Don't
function.
worry, I'm gonna do this.
Hold on, Anon, I'll let you speak. Anon,
Don't
please.
worry.
Anon, I'll let you speak. I didn't interrupt you. I've got 3 words in. You're immediately interrupting me. So you said you weren't going to use wave function, and then you said you got a diffraction pattern. That's mathematically a wave function. So you are using that wave function mathematics when you say diffraction on your wall. You just don't realise that.
He also didn't answer the question. Can you repeat the question, Nathan?
How are wavelengths derived?
Don't care. I'm seeing a pattern on my wall of wave interference, fringe interference patterns on my wall. Only be created with waves. No maths, no calculator.
Can you answer the question at some point? It's been like 9 months.
You never answer any
People
of
have
my
actually
questions,
given
so
birth.
you should just shut
People
the hell
have actually given birth since when we asked this question, and you still haven't answered it.
Yeah, just like you, and you don't answer any of my
Oh,
questions.
just like me,
Same.
huh?
It's a two-way
That's
road,
what I
buddy.
am. What
It's
are
a two-way
you? The
road.
first grade argument. Can we end it, please?
Two-way road, buddy.
Nathan, can I read those passages?
I'd like you to, but I don't want to just shut Anon up when he rumpuses the line. I want him to listen.
That's impossible.
Well, let's see if we can establish that. I'll give up if we can't, but please will you listen to what's about to come? It's important. Anon.
How are wavelengths derived?
That's not what I'm bringing up. You're just basically strawmanning me. I have no desire to
I
go down this path.
got to go
If
take
you
care
wanna
of a couple
explain it
things,
to me, go
Nathan,
ahead.
so I'll be back in
If
3
you want to
minutes.
explain to the
That's where I give
audience,
up.
you go right ahead. I'll go on mute and listen.
What? We're asking you if you've figured that out yet. Because
I'm not looking into it. I've got other things. This is a straw man. It's like asking you, have you looked into relativity? Have you looked into the fabric of space-time?
No, it's
it
not.
doesn't matter. It's not. That's not what I'm trying to demonstrate. I'm demonstrating actual diffraction patterns on my wall from a laser.
Yeah, that's a wave function.
Don't worry. I will present this very shortly. Give me I think
Patterns.
less than a week.
Patterns, that's right. Yeah, but it doesn't make light a wave though.
Sure does.
No, because with actual physical molecules, it does the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anon.
Hey, do you have texture on that wall of yours that you're shining that light on?
Anon, can I ask you a
Say
question,
what?
Dale? I just want to ask you a question. You know the pattern. You know the pattern you see on the wall.
Hold on, we'll get to the texture in a sec. Go on, Brian.
Okay, thank Nathan. You know the pattern you see on your wall. But if you had better equipment that could see things more at the micro level, are you still sure that it would be as you determine it to be?
Yes, because it
But
can't.
you
You have
don't
two
have that
options.
equipment, do
Okay,
you?
so you're not gonna let me finish. Got it. Okay, go ahead. Just keep asking your questions.
Yeah, but you don't have that equipment, so you can't state without that equipment. You can't state for definite. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, just like how none of you guys have the quantum eraser experiment, but you guys babble on about it for eons. None of you guys have a photon detector. None of you guys have a photon gun. None of you guys have dick hole. But you like to parrot that because it supports
I'm not fighting
your theory,
I'm not
your
fighting
view of the
for a
world.
side here. I'm not fighting for a side here. I'm just going off of logic. If you don't have the equipment to see things at a micro level, then you can't state that what is or is not happening at a micro level.
I
If
don't need to look
universities
at it from a
do have
micro
this
level.
equipment, they can state it. I mean, a laser and two slits is not enough. You need to, there's a
One
reason
slit,
why they
not
got
two.
there's a reason why they got smaller about it, if you know what I mean.
Okay, doesn't
No,
matter.
I don't know.
The effect.
I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'd say
Okay,
that I would
don't
say
worry.
that much.
I'm presenting this very shortly. Just give me some time.
Okay, fine.
I have kids,
I don't mind
and I
drawing
have a
blows
full-time
here.
work.
No worries,
Okay.
Nom. Whenever you've got it ready, let us know.
Will do.
Excellent.
What about that wall of yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about that wall of mine?
Does it have any texture on it? Is it a textured wall or is it smooth wall?
I have well, the thing is, you could put something in front of it. So I had a bag. I've tried a bag. I've tried a book. I've tried my peel lemon wall, which is it's not a flat wall. It's got little stupid designs on it. So it doesn't matter what the wall. It doesn't matter what the background is. White, black, textured. Doesn't matter. You see the fringe interference pattern with the peaks of high intensity and then low crests. You see it. It's clear as day. Yeah, it sucks. It hurts your eye a little bit. I've actually had little eye strains in the past couple of days because I keep playing with this laser and the refractor. But it doesn't matter. You see the pattern. I've taken pictures of it. I've videotaped it. I'm putting this thing together slowly, but it's gonna take time because I'm very busy.
Okay, because a textured wall, my point is that it's an uneven surface, so it's going to give you a non-uniform result. So when you present this, I just would hope to not see you shining it on a textured wall. That's all. And also, it'd be cool to not hear about this every 3 days.
Say that again.
Especially when especially when I've pummeled it over 50 times in the last 18 months, along with video presentations debunking all his horseshit. But it's the same old thing every time.
Narrated by fucking what's his name?
We just listen to this frigging retard speak with the same pummeled arguments. He'll just come back the next day, stating them again. Right? He's a baller, is what he is.
Not baller. Just thinks light's a wave.
He's a baller.
Just thinks light's a wave.
He's a baller.
Thank you, Nathan. I'm not a baller, you moron.
No need. Just, I don't know why. I beg of you, Anon. Just look into how they derived. Why am I even asking?
It's irrelevant to my position. I see the wave pattern on my wall. If you want to tell me, I'll go on mute and listen. Go ahead. I'll put you on speaker and listen. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me. Enlighten me.
I'm trying to make you do it. I don't want to enlighten you. We've tried to enlighten you. I even directed you to a specific section where it was visually represented how they derived all of the different wavelengths. But you don't want to look into it, even though you're talking about diffraction patterns.
Just tell me.
Anon, you know these people in universities that have the ability to detect at a micro level. don't they see the same thing as you're seeing until they go into the micro level?
What do you mean micro level? Are you talking about photon level? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
Short photons?
the smaller level, the equipment that you don't
Photons,
have.
magical.
Well, aren't they going to see the same thing as you see, and anyone else could see, until you go to that level? Is that not
That's
true?
like saying NASA sees things to a higher degree. So you
Yeah,
telling
but
me
this
that
is
because NASA sees other things, does they know, and you haven't done anything. So
it's not
NASA
like
has all
that.
these
That's
detectors.
not my point.
NASA has
That's not my
SOHO.
point.
NASA has stereo A and stereo B.
That's not
NASA
my
has
point.
all these satellites.
No, that's not my point. That's not my point.
That is exactly
That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that you don't have the equipment to see at a smaller level, at a micro level. So they're going. If I did the same as you, I'd see the same thing as you. But if I had the equipment you have in universities, then I'd see what they see. You understand? If you don't have the equipment,
I
how are you going to do it?
understand your illogical argument. You guys then you would have to just agree what NASA says because they have the tools,
No,
and they have
how
the
is my
telescope,
argument
and they can see
illogical?
things at a macro
Well,
level.
I'll
Yeah?
ask you this, right? Give me an honest answer. Do you have that equipment to see things at a micro level?
Do you have a
That
satellite
they
that
have
they
in
can
the
see
universities?
stuff? You can see,
I'm asking you, do you
Hold
have
on,
that
Brian.
equipment?
Hold on, Brian.
I'm asking you, have you seen quasars?
Brian,
with
hold on,
your
both of you.
satellite?
Anon, Brian, what he's asking you, Anon, is merely about what you're going to present shortly. At what level of detail have you looked at the observation you'll shortly be presenting? That's all he's asking.
Okay, nothing magical, just your eyes and your camera. I've not looked at it at a micro photon
No
level.
worries.
No,
That's
I
all.
haven't.
Okay, Anon doesn't need to diatribe. So the answer's no. He's probably got a point to make after you've conceded no. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Nathan. My point is that if I do the same thing as Anon is doing, I will see the same thing on the wall in my house. But that's not the same as having equipment that can see things at a micro level. If I had the equipment to see things at a micro level in a more laboratory situation, like they have in universities, then I would see more than likely what they see. I can't say that they don't see what they're seeing because
The universities tell you live on a spinning
I
sphere.
don't have the equiment.
Okay, that's the
So I
second time you've
can't say
used
they're
that.
not doing it.
Hold on,
Because I
hold
don't
on.
have the equipment.
Hold on, both of you. Hold on again. Hold on,
equipment.
Brian. Hold on. Right. Second time you've used that defense along. So there's a big difference between a citation.
Doesn't matter. You go and you say the same thing 11 times and you count them. Yes, this will be the third time I'll say this. Universities tell you live on a spinning sphere. That's the third time.
I heard you. It's the second time now. Third, you've used that defense, and I'm trying to address it. There's a difference between a citation and a reference. Just because, for example, I say Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see curvature that you've reified into an edge below 120,000 feet, that would be a citation. That doesn't automatically mean every word Neil deGrasse Tyson's ever spoken is agreed upon by me. It's merely a citation. Now, if there's a citation come from NASA, now Paul on the panel has used NASA citations when it comes to their descriptions of containers, which are accurate citations. Doesn't mean that everything else on that web page, for example, is agreed upon by Paul when he merely cites specifically one thing from NASA. So you're saying, well, then you must agree with all of NASA. No, that's not how citations work.
We're not talking about the citations. He's telling me just because I don't have the equipment that look at things at micro level, my test, that's not even an experiment, my just visual observation of a phenomena is irrelevant. That's really what he's saying.
But Anon, people can look at things at a micro level. People can't go to a medium that doesn't exist.
People can't.
Exactly what I was.
Can I add something, please?
Photons, because photons don't exist. You can't have a massless particle that gets so massive.
I never said anything about photons.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about
light,
anything at the micro level.
You're talking about photons.
Anything at the micro level can be seen, right? That's a thing. But going to a medium that can't exist is not a thing. There's a big difference.
The micro level of light cannot exist as it's a violation of the first law of thermodynamics.
Oh, what a load of nonsense. Who is it that wanted to ask a question from Discord? And whoever's making a load of background noise, please mute.
Sorry, that's me, Oblivion. One thing someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but of the understanding that if you were to drop, let's say, little BBs through 2 slits, they would also observe the same interference pattern. Isn't that correct?
No, I don't know about BBs.
Can't have light BBs. Sorry.
And they've scaled it up, yes.
Such thing as light
BBs.
BBs.
Yes.
Anon knows, doesn't he? Go on, Anon, off you go.
I was just saying, you cannot create BBs out of light.
Well, that wasn't his
That's
question.
not my point. Sorry.
That wasn't his question. So, yes, I'll just answer you. Yes, they have scaled up the size of the particulates fired through a double slit and got the exact same result. Were they the size of BBs? No, they weren't.
Sorry, I thought someone said they used buckyballs, and I was of the understanding that buckyballs were the size of BBs.
No,
That's why I asked.
No, you need to look up buckyballs or fullerenes, carbon 60. They're not the size. What's the size of a BB?
Yeah, very, very, very big by comparison to buckyballs.
Of an inch.
Huge by comparison.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought buckyballs were something else you were referring to.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Oh, because of the buckyball. Yeah. Just look up buckyball or fullerenes. They're carbon 60, and you're good.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to add to instead of going to the micro level, let's scale it up. That was my whole point.
They've scaled it up beyond particles of light to stuff with larger.
Yes.
Yeah, they have. So it's not just applicable to light. The effect that's being described and observed by Anon, diffraction.
Anon, 2 times you misrepresented my argument. You were treating me like the enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm just trying to point out the obvious, that you can't disagree with like I can verify whether the machines they use exist or not, and whether they do what they do. I can actually it wouldn't be easy, but I can actually verify this. I can go to university where they have these things and do this the double slit experiment. I can verify that. I can't verify a satellite in space. So that was a complete misrepresentation of what I was trying to say to you. You know, you treated me like the enemy when I wasn't. I was just stating the obvious. That's all I was doing.
The video about this photon that I was directed to go to watch by QE was a video that was narrated by Morgan Freeman, and he's pointing at a computer screen and showing 3 dots.
Who cares?
And he's saying
it could have been narrated by Miss Piggy. It doesn't matter.
Go ahead. Just rumpus the shit out of me.
So you're a clown. You're just a clown.
Well, let me just point out this fallacy. Hold on.
So
it's an appeal to format fallacy. That's what he's using.
Okay.
No, it's just some bullshit on TV. It was ironically the same channel that did Behind the Curve.
Hold on. Go ahead.
National Geographic.
Hold on, Anon. Go ahead, whoever was talking in Discord. Then we'll round out.
Yeah. What university could we go to observe this experiment?
Which experiment?
Double slit. Double slit.
Quantum eraser.
Double slit.
Or quantum eraser, which is an expansion of the same thing.
Call up your local university. That's all I can say. Which university? There's probably thousands of them across the world. Call up the local one. If they don't know, they can point you to one that does.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to, first and foremost, the Discord and G+ panels for making this after show, extended after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, hopefully smashing the super chat and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!